And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be nominal.
Our 68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, planet.
Water towers fly! Yes!
They go down to nominal.
Fighting downside at speed off. Bring in at speed off. It's orange!
125. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Decollage. Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
If it was methane, it would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. Keep red. We don't need any more of these.
All right, y'all, you know the drill. Be on the lookout because I've got the chat on my phone. Let me know if you can hear and see me because we are live from NASA's Neutral Buoyancy Lab. Like right now, we're here. We're behind it. This isn't like a green screen or anything. I guess we're not behind it. We're inside the NBL. But let me know if you can hear and see me just fine. Want to make sure that you can understand what's going on. You may wonder, if I'm inside of a building, why is it dark? Hang out for just a second. We're going to talk about that. I see some 5x5s in the chat. It looks like you're reading us just fine. So let's get going with today's Intrepid Museum Virtual Astro Live field trip. Live from the Neutral Buoyancy Lab. Of course, we have Alicia. She's got the right shirt on.
I do. Representing today, as are you.
That's me.
Welcome, everyone, to this month's really exciting, exclusive Astro Live from here on site at the Neutral Buoyancy Lab.
They don't let us out much.
They let us out this time, and in nice fashion. Look at this place, my gosh. But yes, as you all know, of course, this is our monthly Astro Live show. We love to bring to you lots of exciting content all about what's going on in space. But if you have been paying attention to the museum socials, you also might have known that we just opened a brand new exhibit in our Space Shuttle Pavilion, of course, appropriate with the space content too, called, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on it now all of a sudden, shoot.
The underwater.
Yes, it is Mysteries from the Deep, Exploring Underwater Archaeology. There we go. It's the one thing I had to say. My brain.
You have to say the whole thing. I could get close.
Yes. But anyway, it's a really cool exhibit. It is huge. It is underneath our space shuttle, actually. And it is all about exploring, pushing the boundaries of exploring really extreme environments, and particularly underwater. Now, of course, you might be thinking, what does that have to do with space? Well, we thought the same thing and then thought, wait a minute. They do astronaut training underwater to be able to do walks in microgravity,
at
EVAs,
the Neutral Buoyancy Lab.
At the Neutral Buoyancy Lab. So we thought this would be the perfect opportunity to bring you here on site to get a deep dive on what's going on.
That's one pun token to start the show. Put them in chat.
But to give you a really amazing, just exploration here of the facility. They have been so gracious to us. They are taking us all over this place. We are going to be talking to so many really brilliant people and showing you live during this session right now. They are live in training in the pool right now.
They're in the pool behind us. Like astronauts are in the pool training right now.
We have live feeds that they are letting us show you at home as well. You can hear some comms as we're walking, to and from. We'll be explaining what they're doing, their training under there, what's happening, and also, of course, all of the operations that go on every day here at the Neutral Buoyancy Lab too.
There's so much cool stuff that happens here every day, and you don't hear as much about it. Maybe if you're a super space fan, you know what the Neutral Buoyancy Lab is. You know that they train astronauts here. Do you know everything they do here? Well, today we're going to walk around and we're going to see all the different types of operations they have going on. Hopefully we can get down to the suit. They gave us like a golden ticket yesterday to see all the cool stuff, and they're like, what do you want to show? And we said everything, of course. It's like, oh, you repair your own dive regulators? Like, we'll see that if we can. But we're going to go all over.
And actually, if you tuned in, you might be, used to our, usual hour and a half show or whatever. We're actually going to go a little bit longer because we want to show you also when they jump out of the pool and they change out, and also the darkness is going to change to light soon too. So let's talk about that, shall we?
Let's hop in. Well, you know the drill. We don't know everything. We get folks who know a lot more than us on the show. So we have a test director with us.
Yes, this is Ari Valdez.
Nice to meet you.
And you are a test director here at NBL.
At the NBL. Great to have you here.
Yeah, great to have you here.
So you actually caught us on a great day. It's a test run. It's a maintenance 2 run. We're actually in darkened conditions right now, and we are in the middle of a change out with our divers. So we'll be talking about that. And just so you know, the reason we go darkened ops is the ISS is going to be orbiting the Earth 16 times in our day. So every 90 minutes, we'll have a day pass and a night pass. And so it's really critical for the crew to be able to train and understand what that's going to be like from going pitch black to total light from the sun. So,
and for those of you who don't even know what the Neutral Buoyancy Lab is, maybe this is the first time you've even heard about this place, the NBL, as people in the know like to call it. This is essentially a giant swimming pool, 6.2 million gallons of water. It's a lot of water. It's actually raised, right, above the ground. So we're actually standing higher, you know, than street level here. And there is a mock-up, there's a replica of the outsides of the ISS modules inside of this pool. So astronauts get all suited up, they get lowered in, they get weighted, you know, accordingly to be neutrally buoyant. Can you explain what that means for people at home?
Yeah, so the divers are actually going to use their art. We're going to put foam and weight in different parts of their body depending on their body composition, and we're going to kind of get them to a perfect fine-tuned way out so that they can be comfortable in a heads-up working position so that they can navigate and translate across the truss and do different things in a micro-G environment. That's essentially what we're trying to do here.
Because we can't really replicate microgravity. We can't replicate what it's like to be on the moon or in space. You might have heard of, you know, the vomit comet, right? You know, the parabolas, but that's only short stints at a time. You can't really practice working. That'd be really hard. You'd be falling all over the place. But this is now a sustained thing. They do these walks for 6 hours at a time in real life. So they train the same way. They're underwater, weighted accordingly to be neutrally buoyant, meaning they don't sink, they don't float. They're floating, like in space, neutrally buoyant.
What part of the pool, or we can call it the pool, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't have to call it like the tank, or it has an acronym.
It's the pool.
It's the pool.
It's the swimming pool.
What part are they in right now?
So they're actually underneath the truss. This would be the P1 or the S1 of the ISS. So they're underneath it, and they're near the heat exchanger work site.
Is that the training they're doing today?
That's the training, and we'll go into more detail later about what that is, but it's essentially a radiator heat exchanger they're doing, and they're currently working on taking out a failed module section, and they're going to jettison it, meaning they're going to just send it off into the deep dark space when it's broken and repair it with a functioning one.
I guess I see a clue. I don't know if the viewers can see the clue on the top of the water if you wanted to figure out where they were. Give them a second to guess. Can anybody guess how you could figure out where the astronauts are in the pool?
Besides the bubbles.
Besides the bubbles.
That's another good clue. But we have umbilicals.
Yes.
That's what they're called, right?
Absolutely. And so, as you can see here, we have a white and blue umbilical. That's for each of the astronauts. It goes to our section over here that we call environmental controls. So there's a environmental controls operator upstairs. We'll go see them later too.
Right.
They're monitoring the gas, the data, the power, comms, and cooled, chilled 40-degree water going to the suit. So this is where all our power is. It's connected to their umbilical and their bliss. So.
Is it like there's two different colors, so you can keep the line straight because you've got two EVAs.
Exactly.
Is one EV1, EV2?
Yes.
Do we know which color is which, or do they change it up on a daily basis?
They do change it up, actually. We have three colors, red, white, and blue. And we also have green, yellow, and gray. So depending on the day and depending on the perfect data magic, we'll choose which color we're running with.
Okay. Do we know which astronauts are training right now?
I guess that's a surprise for later.
Yeah, I think so. Actually, yesterday...
I think we're allowed to say, right?
Well, we can say. So yesterday, we were here for the suit-up operations in the morning.
Yeah.
We got here really early to get some B-roll, which I'm sure you'll be seeing throughout this stream.
We took selfies.
We took a lot of pictures. And so we saw the whole suit-up process. Yesterday, we had Jessica Watkins, who joined us at the Intrepid Museum a few years ago.
Her best friend.
We're besties now. She's like, I don't know who that person is. What are you talking about? And then also Jasmine Mogbelli, who's from New York. We have a lot of connections. Hey, she was so cool. Oh my gosh. So she was, they kind of stand back to back. We can maybe show kind of where they go down.
We see them coming out. Like the big crane back there is what will lift them out of the pool.
Later.
Around 3 local time, I guess. We're going to try to show you all that.
But we saw the suit up process with them, and she was giving us high fives, and we're like, you're an astronaut, this is cool. But then we saw them getting lowered into the water. Jasmine was so cute. She was splashing in the water. We were told that they only come about once a month or so to do their training to kind of stay fresh.
Some of them live around this area during their training when they're training to become an actual certified astronaut. Otherwise, they'll fly in from all over the world, Dubai, anywhere, and they'll stay out here for a month, complete their training, and move on. What's really interesting about what they do is this is just one part of it, one very important part of it, training for spacewalks, but they'll go off in different segments and do their training. So
yesterday it was those two, and today I believe Delaney and Chari are in the water as well, and like we said, maybe later on today we'll see them getting out too.
Absolutely.
It'll be the reverse. But that was really exciting. We also saw the morning briefing and kind of got a little bit of the lay of the land here so that we knew what to bring you. But no, this is so exciting. So they're down under there, as you can see, the umbilicals. And so they're under there. When you're actually in the suited up spacesuit, if you guys saw yesterday, you saw me pressurized in one. What are they breathing down there? Is it just like do these hoses have air?
Yeah,
or is this
we
air?
have a mixture actually. It's a mixture of nitrox. We put more nitrogen in so that they can have a cleaner air that after a certain amount of time would cause them to be less fatigued, essentially. Without going into too much detail.
Just like scuba diving.
Exactly.
If you do scuba diving, you might know
so we have nitrox divers as well. And, well, all the tanks are gone. But we do have many tanks. So we'll set everybody up with a double tank so they can last 2.5 hours underwater without having to do a change out.
But the astronauts stay under for the full 6?
The astronauts will stay under for a full 6.
Which is roughly what it would be like for them in real life. Which is also why we have the darkened conditions too, as you were saying. So,
which is a new thing we've added recently. So darkened ops, so this is a new testing procedure and it's going great.
That's great. So if you've ever seen pictures of the Neutral Buoyancy Lab, it's usually a bit brighter. We'll show you what it looks like brighter too. But this is an exciting exclusive thing too that we're getting to see as well. So, okay, so you've got the astronauts in there. They're breathing kind of their mixture too. So they're down there practicing what they've been training on. You've also got a lot of support divers in the pool too. If you might see, there's fins and tanks and, BCDs and regulators and stuff all around us right now. Tell us a bit about that work, and do you do that as well?
Yeah, I started as a diver. Everyone does here. We all wear multiple different hats and have different positions, but every subject, every astronaut's going to have 2 support safety divers. They make sure they monitor they're safe. They also weigh them out. If anything is off nominal or they're uncomfortable, they're going to offset that. They also have an individual utility diver that's in charge of all the tools, anything reconfiguration, anything weight related that's too heavy. They're there to support that, which is really critical as well. They also have their own camera divers. We call them float divers, and they're just floating back. So they'll be watching the subjects the entire time too, giving a live feed to the test conductor and the test director upstairs. And yeah, and then, usually we have some guest divers in there as well, people training, so quite a lot.
And training for other things too. Maybe in a little bit we'll take you down to the other end of the pool where they also have started setting up for moonwalk training, which is really exciting. We were speaking with one of your colleagues yesterday about how that's different. It's not, you don't want to be neutrally buoyant for that because the moon gravity's a little different, right?
Absolutely.
How does that work?
So we have a whole new suit and an entire new method, and maybe later we'll talk about the PGWS with an expert. We're going to engineer and figure out a way to get them weighed out perfectly, but instead of being neutral and kind of a heads-up position floating, they want to be standing, and the suit will lean them forward, so we actually have to offset that weight so that they're leaning back.
Yeah.
It's very different.
It's very different.
A lot of weight on their body.
I guess I said you have to be 1/6 buoyant, but you actually have to be 5/6 buoyant. So that 5/6 is picking up and you still
negatively buoyant.
Negatively, Is buoyant
1/6
negatively buoyant.
We'll have to coin a new term here, I guess. But it's cool. You'll see in a bit there's rocks, so you can project the light at the different angles, and I'm sure you'll put in obstacles for them to trip on and all kinds of things.
We can actually see down into the pool.
Yeah.
Real quick, so y'all know, right now we're hanging out here where there's a little bit of light. For safety purposes, we're not running all over the facility while they're in darkened conditions. We're waiting for our cue for the lights to come on so that we can walk y'all around the side and show you sort of down into the pool where the crane comes up. We can see down into the pool. But right now, we're here waiting for the rest of the lights to come on so we can safely walk around the pool.
Yeah.
It's wet. It's actually slippery.
It's
a pool.
They had a little broom. They were trying to get some of the water back in the
all
pool.
day.
It's 6.2 million gallons in the pool and at least 10 gallons on the deck.
That's right. That's right.
All right. But that's what we're waiting for right now. So Also, over the course of the show, we're going to look for some questions. When I'm looking at my phone, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm trying to read y'all's questions. So I'm going to hop into chat right now.
Tag at NASA Spaceflight.
Tag at NASA or at NSF in chat, and I'll try to get some questions off the other channels as well. It's always tough on my phone to juggle, but y'all ask some questions and tag us, and I'll see if we've got some the audience.
Hopefully we have the answers.
Hopefully,
I'm sure
if
you
not,
will.
we'll find
Somebody
them.
will.
Yeah. Let me step to the side, and I'll look for some questions. and y'all
Sure,
keep
sure.
talking.
All right. Well, what else can you tell us then about like what's the normal day-to-day operations here?
Normal day-to-day is really interesting. We run everything, test procedures, exact same. Checklist, start to finish, every morning. You get in, 7:30, medical check-in. Make sure your blood pressure is good, everything's normal. If your heart rate's a little too high, you had too much coffee, you have to sit it out and wait until
And
you're
just to clarify,
good to go.
This is the astronauts and the divers?
Everybody, yeah.
Great.
We'll do
Okay.
the same one. They have a more extensive
Sure.
check-in, but we'll get that done. Everybody at 8 o'clock meets up for the brief, which you guys got to see yesterday.
We did, yeah.
Yeah, so they'll do that. We'll go over the test conductor is going to talk everybody through their tasks for the day. And so everybody's on the same page, even if we're not entirely aware. We'll all give our goes that every critical system is in check and everything's a go. And then usually 8:30, 8:45, we have a station call. We'll make a PA announcement as a test director, and then we will get everybody suited up for our 45, 50-minute pressurization and suit up on the donning stand.
And then everyone in the pool.
Yeah, everybody in the water.
That's great. That's cool. So what is it, obviously, to be an astronaut? We know there's lots of training, there's lots of, that huge application process, and only a select few are ever hired. What does it take to be a diver here at the Neutral Buoyancy Lab?
Yeah, well, if you're interested, this is a great job, and we are always hiring. But you need, I think, at least 25,
Look out,
25
Intrepid.
dives.
Yeah, right.
25 dives, but we love military background, marine biologists, just traveling divers like myself who, wanted to go do their thing around the world and come back, and really anybody. We have a lot of local people as well, so.
Okay. I've got some questions now, if y'all don't mind. This is a great question, and we actually talked about it yesterday. There's over 6 million gallons of water in the pool. Do you ever drain it to clean it?
We do not. Great question. We have. We actually had some people come in to paint, and they painted with the pool full.
Were they painted underwater?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I don't have details on this.
Sure.
Anyways, but we try not to drain it unless we have to. Sometimes the levels can get lower, or we can have some water exit the pool. Like when we were testing our wave balls, we were losing a lot of water, so we'd have to refill it. But we try not to drain it.
That's like I want to jump around to so many different things. You just mentioned the wave ball. You can actually make artificial waves in the pool.
Yeah, and if we can get over to the Orion capsule, I can talk more about that. But we do.
Cool.
We have wave balls. We'll try to set up and expose the subjects to different environmentals, so we can simulate some rain, some wind, some night, and waves.
And it's not just astronauts training for missions too in here, right? You've also got some military,
absolutely,
people that come in, test, helicopter rescues and all sorts of stuff.
The Coast Guard comes in here annually, the Navy. We have Army Corps of Engineers. We also have the Sheriff's Recovery Dive Team. So we see a lot of different people in here.
Nice. Look at Jason zooming in on the wave ball in the back corner back there. We did a whole walk around. Yeah, we did a whole walk around yesterday so we could see what different cool stuff there is. So we're like, oh, show them this, show them this. We'll try to pace ourselves because we have some time.
They have to be prepared in all different kinds of conditions. That's amazing.
And that's a great point. Like the surface of the pool, when you first come in the morning, we were here early yesterday before anyone was in the pool. It was like glass.
So calm.
Oh, it was so calm.
Yeah,
and now
beautiful.
there's people in there. You have a little bit of ripple, but you can make even more ripples by jumping the wave ball up and down when you do the other sort of work.
But as you see, this water level is very close to the ground.
Oh, yeah.
We don't get to put that on level 4.
Yep.
Right.
That's an interesting thing. You said it's close to the ground. It's sort of close to the deck
The
here.
deck, yes.
But the entire pool is above the ground.
Correct.
Or I
And
guess
how
most of the
20
pool is
feet?
above the
How
ground.
deep down does it go?
It's 40
completely?
feet
40 feet
total.
deep.
And the reason for that is we are able to keep the divers down at that depth for an indefinite amount of time. So we'll stay down for 2 hours without having to affect any dive tables and
without having to
any
do
health
like
concerns.
depressurization to let the bubbles come in.
So a lot of people might think, oh, the bends, like you're down there for 6 hours, like isn't that a problem or anything? But you don't have safety stops or anything like
No
that.
safety stops.
And the divers also, they've got 2 tanks. And they're breathing a mixture that's, I believe it was 46%.
40-60, yeah.
So
46
46
nitrox.
Sure. So that's a very conservative gas mixture as well, so that they, can they don't have to do that sort of thing too.
Another great question here, when they're in the neutral buoyancy pool, we'll call it that, do they do a complete simulation including communications? Right up in the corner, we have like a mission control room, right?
Yeah, great question also. So we do have a control room. Right now, half of the blinds are covered, but we do have our mission control, which would be ground control. That's where the test conductor is, and that would also be considered the flight director in actual mission control. So they're going to be talking the crew member the entire day throughout their tasks. And then in the other rooms, we have the comm video operators, the environmental controls we talked about earlier, and the test director monitoring the test as well. So
this is really a very collaborative space.
Absolutely.
That is something that I got from this yesterday, is that you've got people that are, first and foremost, okay, they got to get their astronauts trained. Here's the mission objectives, do those things. But then you also have people looking over just the safety of the crew here.
Yep.
You're forgetting, you want to keep the astronauts safe in their little personal spacesuit, their pressurized little vehicle, sure. But then you're also underwater too. You have to think about water safety and all of that as well. So there's so many, safety factors about just keeping people alive in this situation every day. Yeah. It's incredible how many people work here total.
That's a great question. I think we're up to maybe 50 plus divers.
There's a lot of cars in the parking lot.
Just divers.
Just divers.
Yes.
But then you also have all the other support people too.
There's hundreds, definitely.
Hundreds of people working here.
And per the full mission, there's actually a mock-up of the airlock that they would get out of down in the corner of the pool here. And when they start this, they don't just drop in the pool and they're like, all right, go fix the radiator. They start from the airlock. So you'll get them in the pool, make sure everything's safe.
Oh, there we go.
Hey, we came out of the
sun came back.
We came out of the dark side of the earth. Nice.
So now you can see it in its full glory too. And now we can walk a little bit too, I think, right?
They do the whole thing where, get into the airlock. How do you get out of the airlock? How do you get to your work position from that spot? It's the entire training process. It's not just, jump in and here's how you turn a wrench underwater.
No, we definitely can do that, but we will start them in the airlock. They'll egress. The test conductor is going to let them know which order. They'll get out of the airlock, look at each other, make sure all of their tethers and safety straps are okay, make sure everything looks right on their suit, and then they will, one at a time, be sent off. And they'll start translating and use their different handrail numbers and different things that they have pre-planned. So,
excellent.
Yeah.
Cool. So now that the lights are on, can we walk
take
around?
A walk.
Some? All right, y'all are coming with us. We're following you.
Lead the way.
All right. So you see we have a lot of giant yellow poles. These are cranes, and we'll hoist donning stands, and they're man-hoisted machines, so we can take everybody in and out safely.
And when you say the donning hoist, that's the things that the astronauts get their suits on, and then they go down.
Yeah, that's essentially the cage that we're going to place them in the water, take them out. And it's just our way of making sure that we never have an error or anything happen to them when we're ingressing and egressing.
Sure. All right, so that's what this is right here.
Yes, it is.
This is, I assume, how they went down this morning.
That's right. And they each have their own donning stand height, which can vary greatly.
Right.
And so they can only go in one side and the other, whichever they're set up for. But yeah, we'll get them in and out of the water this way. We also have some training sessions that if for whatever reason we can't lock them in, we can lay them down. We have very specific safety protocols.
Okay. And so early this morning, up like at 8:30, 9 o'clock. They were on this stand, sort of vertical, and this crane lowers them down into the water, right?
Yeah.
And then they get off. They make sure that they're all sealed up. They don't need to do any leak, or they do leak checks. Make sure they don't have any leaks.
That's
or
our first thing we'll do is a leak check, because the suit engineer is still going to be on the pool deck. We'll monitor it. The divers will monitor it. The ECS will monitor to make sure that the return pressure doesn't change and everything looks good.
Yep.
The suit engineer is actually going to give us the last go before the test director sends them off.
Gotcha.
And then the divers literally push them to
Send them off.
They move
They're just
them
like, all right, let's go.
Yes, and without the divers, they can't swim. They'll try. Some will move around, but yeah, the divers will be on either side of them, leading them to their downline, and the yellow floating balls over there, that'll be attached to a rope to the ground.
Okay. The yellow sort of...
the lift bag,
lift
the balloon.
bags. Thank you. The balloons.
Yes.
Those are lines that the astronauts use to pull themselves down.
Absolutely. They'll walk themselves down, and that we let them do so that they can take their time, equalize their ears, get comfortable. If they're uncomfortable, they can slowly come back up, but they have total control of that.
Gotcha.
and if they're hands off, now they're floating, so the divers will be controlling them.
So thinking about the astronaut in the suit then, once their suit is pressurized, they're probably clearing their ears and that during that process. But then once they're going down,
they have to do it again.
Keep doing it again.
Yes, they'll continue doing it.
That's a lot of...
And
tell us how they do that. They were telling us before if they have an issue because they can't pinch their nose.
You can't reach your
thing.
face.
How do they do that?
Which is really unfortunate, you know, because you want to touch your face. We actually have a little Valsalva block inside that is custom. It matches their nose size.
It like fits their nose size?
They can put their face in there and close their mouth, exhale out their nose, and clear their ears.
It's the same as like just pinching your nose and blowing to like, I guess, inflate your ears. I don't know, pressurize your ears. Equalize your ears.
Or you know, maybe yawning or whatever it does for them. So like again, this depressurizing thing, if you're ever in an airplane and your ears pop, it's sort of like that, but it keeps happening the lower you go. So you have to kind of keep clearing
And it could change as well during their run. If they start like today, they're down at the very bottom of the pool. When they translate up to do incapacitated crew rescue later, they're going to be at different segments, and because we're in the water, you're going to feel that effect. So,
gotcha. There are so many good questions coming in. There's no way we're going to get to all of them, but I thought this was a really good one. In the water, you have the water, so it creates extra. Thank you, Alicia. Yes. It creates extra drag.
The water is wet,
right? As you push stuff. Is the water wet, or does the water make things wet?
I don't know.
The NBL
what is the temperature of the water? Out of curiosity.
86 degrees.
And you keep it at that all the time.
We do.
Okay.
And that is for comfort. Yes.
Yeah.
So in the water, as you're pushing something around, you have the inertia of the object, like it has mass and you have to get it accelerated, but you also have drag from the water.
We do.
So in space, you don't have that. There's no water in space, and you're just pushing it through vacuum, nothing. How do you adjust for that? When they're training underwater, how do you sort of help them understand?
Really great questions.
We have great people asking questions.
So, you know, a lot of times astronauts will say they overtrain here. You know, it's going to be more challenging what they're doing in the pool than it is going to be in space. But that's why we have safety divers, utility divers. We will, every item they have, every tool, we're going to try to get that as neutral as we can. A lot of those big segments and modules we can't. There will be a drag. So we'll occasionally attach lift bags. We'll have support divers kind of going with it. We'll do anything we can physically as divers to try to offset that.
Could you use like a skeleton or a wireframe so it's the right size, but it's got less drag?
In more detail, we do have a high fidelity version of different things and tools. We have a mid-fi and a low-fi. So low fidelity could essentially be a PVC frame of what we need, and that would be neutral. So it doesn't look the part, it wouldn't have every single little detail on it, but we'll keep it in the same shape of whatever they need. And
general size and shape, and maybe handholds are in the same place or something. But
I think they were saying yesterday too that sometimes they'll have a tool or something that's like, you know, 3D printed plastic or something, and then once they get there, they'll trade it out with the real one so they can actually practice the drilling.
They will. So we'll have fake lo-fi tools on them. They'll go through the process of making sure it's tied off and where they want it, and a utility diver will come in and replace it with the actual tool or PGT, which has some weight to it.
Okay. Excellent. I'm going to keep finding questions here. So y'all keep asking questions, and are we walking to the next station? There's so much to show here.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Yep.
So I see something familiar over here.
Yes.
Nice.
The beautiful Orion capsule.
So this isn't the actual Orion capsule,
but it is a life-size mock-up version of it that we have here in the pool.
They turn the lights on and everything for us.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh.
You got special treatment.
Yeah,
so we can have 4 crew members in here. This is what is going to bring the crew members back into Earth. They're going to land. Parachutes will deploy, they'll hit the water gracefully, and they have a series of different training procedures and safety protocols they'll go through while they wait for their inflatables to come up, their raft, and their rescue air and sea recovery team to come get them.
But this is like one-to-one. This is exactly
one-to-one size,
what it feels like for them.
I got to jump in real quick. Jason, can you show where Dee is right now? This is the NBL taking such good care of us. Dee was over there like, hey, can I step out on that?
Step on here too to get a little
Absolutely.
closer too. You can, Jason, you can get closer too.
I believe so.
I had to show
Someone
this.
will come tell us if we can't be here.
Just climb inside. Just climb inside.
No, don't do that.
I'll climb inside.
But we can't say thank you enough to the NBL for
you guys have
inviting
been
us over here and
amazing.
giving us this access. It's like,
this
no,
is
you can
wild.
stand in this one spot and just see this stuff. I know we were standing a lot at the beginning, but we are just starting the virtual field trip, walking around the NBL, showing all the different stuff you do. Now, at this station, we talked about the wave generator, right? Where we can, I guess, pull that ball up and down, and it makes waves in the pool, sometimes too many waves.
We have a wave ball operator, actually, so when we're doing aircraft survival or our Nomad or Orion training, we'll expose the crew members to different environments, and we'll turn the lights off, we'll start these fans, have some water flowing to simulate rain.
There's like rain generators above us, like not rain, but the helicopter.
It's fun,
maybe flying over them, right?
Yeah. We'll even have one of the cranes drop a safety basket and have them prepare their different methods and procedures for ingressing that.
Yeah, like up here, there's a big fan with a bunch of nozzles next to it, and if you're out there, you may have the helicopter flying over. You may have spray in your face. So it's not just the way. It's the fact that
not a glamorous process.
Yeah, this is the right size and shape.
Right.
It's in the water. There are waves. There's spray in your face. Like as many different factors as they can create here in the lab. It's Neutral Buoyancy Lab. As many as they can create here in the lab, so that when you get to the real world, you sort of have that experience.
And it's not always going to run perfect, right? Like a little bit later, we might have the opportunity to show you. Like if you know this thing were to land upside down or something, like they have to train for that too. They need to be prepared of how to escape. Often in the military, they had, I believe, it was something called the Dilbert Dunker, which was an airplane crashes into the ocean or whatever, and then they flip you upside down for training, and then you have to get out of your harnesses and swim back up. The Navy would use that a lot. I know that because I work at the Intrepid.
No.
So they have to do that too with this. How do you get, when you're upside down, how do you get out? You've got all of your stuff.
We've got one more thing we need to see over here, but also we need to get you to your meeting.
Absolutely. I do have a meeting.
Let's see if we can look down into the moon rocks in the pool here, and then we will get you walking up that way.
Yes, so over here, this was the new Artemis section that they're building out, right?
Yes, it is. This is our lunar terrain area. So we're going to have different mock-ups and things come online here as we create them. We do have some rocks. We have some really nice lighting that we're going to try to simulate what it would actually be like on the moon, with very harsh lighting angles. And we're going to have lunar buggies and all different vehicles and things down there. We'll have different grades and different positions for them to be walking in and things like that.
And there's also soil that they've been developing so that it kind of sits like the regolith we were hearing.
Yeah.
It
leaves footprints down there, like in the bottom of the pool.
We have we've been through a series of different choices of sand. So we found this type of sand that works, and it's dense and heavy and stays to the ground and doesn't create dust clouds.
And not only that, you've also got mock-ups on this section too, right?
Yes.
This is a Blue Origin closest to us mock-up, and then also the SpaceX one over there.
Right. Oh. So as they come online, we're in and training with them.
Do you have a timeline for that? Do you know about when that'll start happening?
I'm not actually sure with when all of those are getting in here. So.
Well, let's start walking because we're going to go up to the control room.
Great.
And let you get to your meeting.
Let's go meet some test conductors.
It's interesting. Earlier, what are you?
Yeah, I think we're going this way.
We're going this way. So earlier I was speaking to one of your colleagues, we were mentioning how, in 2030 the plan is to deorbit the ISS.
That's right.
So it's like, wait, you've got this giant pool here with an ISS mock-up that's kind of going to not have
what do we do?
First of all, what are you going to do with the ISS structure? And also, what might be coming in here next?
These are all questions that I can't fully answer because we're still deciding. But what we do know is we are going to put a lot of focus on still maintaining the ISS and spacewalk efforts.
Sure.
And really starting to focus on Artemis and any lunar development we have.
So maybe more expansive, moon landing stuff?
Every time I walk past that, I see that and I'm like, why is there a person laying it?
That's our poor dummy. We actually use him a lot for training and different safety standards and requirements
CPR.
we have. Yes.
Yeah.
So as divers, we'll bring him up from the bottom of the pool. So.
Right. Sorry, we're talking about important things like Artemis training. I'm like, there's a dummy under that table.
Well, yeah,
there's a few around here.
Nice.
You think if there's going to be, moon operations, right? That's the goal, to get back to the moon, set up a base. They're going to be probably needing to do more not quite neutral buoyancy training, like we were talking about earlier.
Different like I said,
Weighted
vehicles,
weighted
walking,
different.
But you could do
tracking
Mars
tools.
too. Like
Yeah,
you could do
Mars.
the moon, but you could also change the buoyancy so
That's
that
the
you've
next
got
step.
Mars grid.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And I think they should take the ISS modules that are down there, because it's just the outsides. There's nothing really inside, too. I think they should make it an artificial reef so that
That is
divers
a great
can
idea.
swim.
Divers could, like divers in the public could dive
well,
to it?
I can
Wow.
tell you they've done that with subway cars off the coast of the Carolinas, Redbird
Yeah.
Reef. And they've also done it with the sister ship to the Intrepid. Actually, they call it the Great Carrier Reef.
That was the Great Carrier
it's
Reef.
the USS Oriskany is actually off the coast.
That's a great
Actually, isn't it
idea.
out here? It's in the Gulf of Mexico. It's kind of close to somewhere
We might
around
have
this
to go dive that.
I would love to
Going
dive
this
that
way, right?
someday, but it is very deep, and you have to have a lot of technical certifications, which I'm not there yet, but someday.
Now, real quick, y'all, as we
Or
go
find my
around
office.
the stairs here and around the back, the signal may hiccup for a bit. Again, it's an active facility. Luckily, we have the live feeds from inside the pool for you. So if the signal hiccups a little bit, maybe the audio hiccups a tad, just bear with us as we move around here. But again, we are live, walking around, learning about the work at the Neutral Buoyancy Lab. We're at NASA's, I think this is part of Johnson Space, and we're in Houston, Texas. We're down around Clear Lake. And from up here, you can actually see down in and see the ISS. Wow.
It's a lot
That's
clearer,
too cool.
it's a lot calmer
is.
over in this corner, isn't it?
Perfect visibility
Yeah.
all the time.
Oh, you can see a
There's
diver,
a diver.
out there.
He's checking on the float cables.
How many divers are in the pool at any given time?
Usually around 16. It really depends on what we're doing
Yep.
that day for the run. Well, let's go walk in here and see
let's
if we
check it out.
can.
Y'all, there's so many good. Oh, we're going in here.
Let me check. Well, that's the control room, so we're not going to go in there just yet.
Let's make sure we
Well,
don't.
let's go.
I think
I'm
they
really
said we could film
loud.
from the outside here, though. You can check out what that looks like in the control room.
I'm sure they'll let you in there for a moment, but let's go meet our test conductor.
That's where the dive briefing was
ready.
yesterday also. They had all the divers and the astronauts in there, too.
There's like a side break room here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a light switch? Ah, thank
There
you.
we go.
All right.
Okay.
Now, we've got a trail of cameras coming behind us here. So
parade.
you need to get to your thing. Ari,
Thank you so much, Ari. That was great. Thank you so much.
Chat, I'm telling the people here. Say thank you to Ari for walking us around. Yeah, and we didn't fall in the pool, so we've got that going for us,
almost.
which is nice. Thank you, Ari. So
right.
now we'll go to our next person.
Yes. Hello.
Andrew.
How are you?
How you doing?
Doing good.
So Ari was a test director, and you are a test conductor, right?
That's correct.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
So I'm a test conductor here at the MBL. What that means is we help the crew do their training in the pool. What we're doing is we want the crew to be skilled in using that suit, the EMU. It's really difficult to move around in, and they've got a lot of tough work to do outside
Right.
if they have to go do a spacewalk. As a test conductor, we sit in this room right over here, the TC room, and what we'll do is walk the crew through any of their tasks that they're doing. Today they've got a couple tasks that they're performing, the interface heat exchanger remove and replace, as well as the ATA R&R. The ATA is going to be the ammonia tank assembly, and those are just a couple of the big boxes we have outside that the crew would suit up for, go outside of the space station, and start doing some maintenance.
Gotcha. Right now, there's a few people in there. It's active training happening. Can we like sneak in?
Yeah, we can. So because it is active training, we'll keep it down a little bit, maybe some whispers. But we do have our TC and our TC assist happening today. So come on in. Be quiet.
All right. I think that's as on as it's going to be in the pool at least.
We have a great view in your Heka, and that looks like to be in a good position, so you can
Okay.
take your adjustable off.
Okay, adjustable's coming back to you, Luke. Coming up, ready.
And Luke, you can temp stow that out of your way. We'll work together to go through the M1 and M2 fluid key blocks.
Okay, temp stowed on the fish stringer, ready to go.
All right, let me know when you're both in position. We'll get started.
So you can see today we have Jenna Hansen as our TC. She's the test conductor going through our
For
run.
M2.
Assisting her, we've got Naomi Plaus.
For me,
And both of them are going through our maintenance 2 timeline today. So like I said, this will be the heat exchanger and ammonia tank assembly R&R.
Looked at was the QDs installed behind this QD, so I got to either manipulate a TA clamp to get it behind. Kind of hard to see unless you can see it in my HECA.
I have a great view of M3.
So this is real-time training that you guys are seeing right now. That is so cool.
Yeah.
This is so amazing.
It's pretty awesome. I'm very grateful to be able to assist with this operation. We train up the astronauts, make sure that they're prepared and ready for spaceflight. We've got 2 crew members in the water today. Whenever we do our spacewalks, we always want 2 crew members out there just in case something happens to one of them.
Buddy system, like diving.
That's right. You got the buddy system, so someone can assist someone else getting back to the airlock if need be. We do train that extensively here in the MBL, so that's one of our big training points that we like the crew to be prepared to do.
And just to be clear, that the female voices that you're hearing right now are those people in the room. You just saw them.
That's right, yes. So once again, Jenna talking directly with the crew members, telling them how many turns they need to put on a bolt, which connectors they need to interface with next, whether they're electrical connectors or fluid connectors, anything like that.
You know, a really awesome thing is yesterday y'all let us attend the morning briefing. So we were here and we actually captured some of that, and we're going to put together a little bit of behind the scenes. We'll put a video together so people can understand. But there was a go, no-go poll this morning. It was just a go poll, right?
That's right.
And they went around all the different stations, all the responsibilities, just like a launch, making sure that everybody was ready for the day of training.
That's right. There's actually a couple different polls. We want to make sure the entire team here at the MBL is ready for our operation. What we're doing here can be dangerous if it's not done properly. So we test all of our crew members, both in the water as well as everybody working here at the MBL, just to make sure everybody's ready for the day. We have that go, no go. The TC here, Jenna gave her go this morning. Both the crew members gave their go, and hence we see training going on right now.
Excellent.
Now, you've also got kind of a robotic arm in there, they were saying, as well.
That's correct.
And that is controlled from up here, too?
Yes, yeah. So if you look off to the right-hand side of where Jenna and Naomi are sitting over there, you've got a robotic console. And on that console, they can control that robotic arm, fly it around so that it can either grab onto a crew member itself and help them get from one work site to another.
Like they strap their feet into it, right?
That's right, yeah. They put their feet in. There's a foot restraint known as the APFR, and they'll actually... the Articulating Portable Foot Restraint.
Nice.
Yes. They love their acronyms here.
Yes, we do.
Everyone does.
So the APFR is where the crew members can lock their feet in. The arm can actually fly them from one location to another. Another way that we use the arm is to grab onto components. So today they're dealing with this big box. I've mentioned it a couple times, the ATA, and this thing is about 1,800 pounds when it's full. Because of that, it can be hard for 2 crew members to move it around in space. Now, it is weightless, but it's still a giant box.
Bulky, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So the crew members today are going to be installing what's called a grapple fixture onto one of the ATAs. The arm will come over and grab a hold of it, allowing them to move this big box for them. So the robotic arm is very, very cool.
That's fascinating. So from the museum that I work at, the Intrepid Museum, we have a new exhibit on underwater archaeology. So from that perspective, this is really interesting. That exhibit really touches about some of the modern technology that they use to, search for things like downed ships or planes, for example, or just old cities and things like that. It's very cool. You can see all these different aspects of how they do that. But they have now these robotic things that can go deep underwater and they can control them remotely. So I would kind of compare this maybe to something like that, where you've got the robotic operator who can see these screens and remotely kind of explore that sort of thing too. And then also with the training too, remotely being able to see on all of the 9-pack, as they call it, the screens with the nine frames there, all the different angles of being able to really explore what's happening down under the water, but from a dry place with electricity.
Right, yeah, it's very nice. We have no shortage of screens here in the
No,
TC.
you don't. They are everywhere.
That's because we like to see the crew from all angles. We want to make sure they're doing their maintenance exactly the way we expect them to do it. If not, then things can get dangerous. Maybe we install something wrong. We don't want to do that.
And also from their perspective too, you've got cameras on the astronauts.
That's correct.
Their eyes.
So we can get a bird's eye view of them, and then also get their direct helmet shots to see what they're looking at. And as we go through their training, we also like to know hey, what are you thinking through? As you start your training, then there are a lot of things you have to get used to. There's a safety tether that's attached to you. The suit itself, very bulky, hard to move around in. So we like to ask them throughout their training, like, hey, what are you thinking through? Are you having difficulty reaching some of your tools? What do you want to work on for your next run? If we don't have time to work on that today, then we'll jot it down so we can make sure and remind you for your next training.
And do you find that their feedback in the pool often informs, future iterations of how they create a tool or how they design a new apparatus that they're gonna, install on it? If they're like, I did it this time, but it would have been nice, if next time they made this handle just, an inch to the right or whatever like that. Have they ever thought about modifying stuff based on feedback in the pool?
Absolutely, yeah. So our pool is designed to be a one-to-one volumetric mock-up of the actual space station on orbit. So if there's any time where a crew member is having difficulty maybe moving from one location to another, we've got these tools called gap spanners. And what that can do is it's a big strap that you can attach between handrails to allow them to translate across that. So that's an example of something that we might have the crew members install if they're having difficulty reaching one handrail to the next in the pool.
Do you mean install it in space too?
Yeah, so we would practice doing it here at the MBL and then recommend doing that on orbit.
Wow, great feedback.
Now, I think are there more rooms up here? Because there's a couple things in a row, and then we're trying to get down to the suit lab in a couple minutes where they actually assemble the suits. Do we need to send a scout ahead to see if they're ready for us?
I think we should be good to go. Yeah, let's get on moving. We can check out a couple of these rooms.
All right.
Not sure if we'll be able to peek in them, but we can at least point them out here.
We will leave that up to you. But again, folks, we're walking around live. We have the shots from inside the pool to share with you. If we have some hiccups or something like that, that's going to be a normal thing. Just bear with us. We got cool stuff to show you, but where are we going?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out here. So we'll just get a view from back over here, but through these glass doors here would be the test director's room. So you spoke with Ari earlier, and she would sit in there during the run just to...
Can he get a shot from in there or no?
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
Okay. And earlier you saw that during the darkened conditions, they actually had the blinds down over this room so that none of the lights from the screens even projected down there because you wanted to try to make it really accurate.
That's correct, yeah. We like to simulate on orbit as best possible.
It is the whole setup.
Once again, plenty of screens.
Plenty of screens, nice. All right, moving right along. So now we're going to walk down this way. I think we've got some stairs to go through.
Correct, yeah.
There's an elevator, not great for our video signal, so we'll get our steps in.
On our way to the suit lab here, can make sure and get our steps in, pass up the elevator on the left.
I also want to point out, too, I was expecting when I walked in here, so working on an aircraft carrier, when you walk into the Intrepid, people who don't work there every day often get hit with this wave of jet fuel. We were an active aircraft carrier.
It smells like grease, like bearing grease and jet fuel in the Intrepid.
I was expecting when I walked in here to be hit with chlorine. Giant pool. And you smell it a little bit, but overall, I mean, you probably don't smell it at all anyway because you're
just
here
get
all
used
the time.
to it.
That chlorine.
You smell it faintly, but it's not obnoxious. Like it's kind of just like, oh, it's nice. I'm like at a pool. Although you're probably sick of it now too.
you definitely get used to it. That's for sure. Suit lab will be right down here on the bottom floor.
The lab, and then I can come over and grab them from you. You're headed out to P1 or S1 version ATA?
Luke, you'll be headed to the P1 ATA, and Raja's going to go straight to the S1.
Okay, yeah, I'll just grab them at the airlock if you're good. Or if you need to get going, you can just hang them out there and I'll grab them.
Does he need the bag, or should they come with? Should I take the bag with me?
You will take the bag, and he just comes and gets his PGT.
Got it, okay. Just gonna drag them both out of the airlock, just in the interest of time, and I'll leave one hanging and take the bag with me.
Copy all.
I'm just at the airlock, Luke's configuring.
Copy. I should be a couple minutes out. I'm on the other side of the lab now. I should be heading back to structure, and I'll be working my way there.
Sounds good.
Copy all. And Raja, once you're set with your crew lock bag, I will have you do a safer handle check.
Okay. Good plan. All right, safe. The crew lock bag's on my BRT. I'm just closing the doors, which got opened in the airlock. And then I'll check my stuff and get out of the way here.
Copy all.
Throw the crew lock bag off to my side. That's stuck on something. Okay, there should be a PGT sitting here for you when you get here, Luke.
Copy. Almost there.
See ya. Yep. You want me going to S1, correct?
Affirm.
All right. I'm gonna, let's see, try to get out of your way.
Copy. I'll wait right here. If this is good for you, I can move a little further.
I think you're fine, actually. If you want to, I'll start going this way so I get out of your way.
Okay.
I just got to get up to the Cedar Spur, but otherwise, let's see here. Where's your tether at? Okay, so I should be good if I head up the Cedar Spur.
I think so, because I'm on the aft side here.
Okay. For my bum plisses here, I'm going to try to get things skinny. Go behind you.
I'll get further out.
I think you're good now. If you can see me, we're...
Yep, you're good.
All right.
All right.
And we're back.
And we're back. Like we said, active facility. We're not like shutting everything down. And we've got a really small team. The signal did not like that stairwell. I'm sure you all noticed. But luckily, we had all the feeds live from inside the pool for the training.
Which is much cooler than going down a stairwell, to be honest.
What did you want to see? The stairwell or them working in the pool? But now we've made it to the suit lab. And it looks like we have... We'll see how much signal we have in here. But we want to see if we can show it to you. We have somebody who knows what's going on here.
Stu, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Amazing. So what is your job here?
I am a suit technician here.
A suit technician.
Right.
What does that mean? What do you do?
What that means is this area you're in right now, like where Jared's working, it takes 2 technicians a couple days based on the configuration of the suit to build a suit, test it, get it ready for a test. Right?
Now, when you say build a suit, you're not building it from fabric and
no,
things.
so sometimes we have to do, like he's installing disconnects, right? We have to do that. Sometimes we have to take the components and put them together, test them and measure them. And then sometimes we do what's called Phillips testing. Like you see this table behind you, get ready for a test. That's basically what we're doing here.
So when you build the suit, you take the different components. Where do those components come from?
Well, we have a bonded area behind us here. We have all different sizes for whatever type crew member we use, and we take based on their measurements, right? We put it up, it spits out in our computer program of what size, based on your measurements, we use for component levels, right?
And if you watched our stream yesterday, you kind of know what that
Yeah.
You know how that
like.
works.
ILC Dover,
Right.
made what they're currently still using. On
They were
the
putting us
ISS.
in spacesuits yesterday.
Okay, nice.
So they
literally
suited us
put
up
me in
and
a spacesuit
pressurized
and I walked
Alicia, and
around.
she
It
was
wild.
walking around in a spacesuit.
So
It was
this will be the second half of that, right?
Yeah,
You get this is what happens
Well,
when you
I'd love to be pressurized and then thrown in the pool too, but we couldn't
One
make
thing
that
at a
happen.
time, Alicia.
One thing at a time.
These are the current suits, though.
Yes,
These are
this
suits
is
they
the currently
currently use.
What they're
engine,
currently
yes, sir.
using. And so are these new pieces that they send to you?
So,
or?
majority of these pieces here have been flown, right?
Okay.
And once their flight time is expired, they get downgraded to the training environment. And we use them to failure, right? We have a program here. We have a 40-hour manned pressurized program. So after every 40 hours of manned pressurized time, we break them down to some component level. Every spring, O-ring, lip seal, as everything's inspected, it's replaced or recertified for another 40 hours. And you rotate it. So
Wow. And I would assume they do that for the divers as well, for all of their gear.
For everybody's gear, yeah. So it's not just if you came in, you were an astronaut, right? We don't just build a suit and put it away for you. All your components are used for everyone,
They're all
right?
kind of modular.
Right. We have multiple sizes, and we just, whatever we have available to us is allocated. We build a suit, we test the suit, and we get it for whatever test you're going to be on.
No.
I saw it on the carts. I loved it on the carts. It's like a piece of paper with the astronaut name and what it's for. All of the carts that have components are in various stages of preparation.
Various stages. So once the suit is allocated for Chris Williams here, all his components are put on the table by the technicians. They assemble the suit, right? They inspect the suit, assemble it, test it, and measure it, and then it gets ready for whatever event they're going to be on.
And when we were here yesterday, they were putting together the suits
for today.
What it was today, right?
Ready for the testing today or training today.
That's awesome. So you have all these pieces lying around. We saw earlier there's a closet of cans and everything. Right. You do the maintenance on it here as well. You said right now he's working on?
So he's working on a pair of gloves. So what Jared is doing is installing a pair of disconnects to this glove, right? Now he's going to test them, and afterwards he'll measure them for whatever crew member or test subject he's going to be on this test. At one time, a pair of gloves, I don't know what size they are, you may have up to 10 crew member or test subjects wearing that one pair of gloves. And we have a way of sizing up to a 1 inch per finger. And it's all based on your circumference and finger length measurements that you guys did.
Sure. That's incredible.
Alicia, you were like, where do I move so I'm not blocking a spacesuit? And it's there's so many spacesuits in here.
Right.
Somebody was saying yesterday that they size them slightly differently because their spines expand like an inch and a half.
So there's a little bit of spine growth. It's like a 0G spine growth.
What you wear here is different than what you might wear in space.
Well, we try. It's typically the same, but there might be a 1 or 2 inch growth once again without the 0G, without gravity compressing your spine.
It must be so nice.
It would be nice to be able to come back and be taller and stay taller, right?
Yeah.
Most of them, they lose it after about 6 months.
So tell us about our friend here.
So this is our friend. This is an older model of what we're doing right now. And if you notice, there's a few things to take a look at. And of course, the Gold Visor, a really expensive pair of Ray-Bans, right? So we have, everything is written backwards. And if you saw this, we talked about this before. Because obviously inside the suit.
Well, for those of us who don't know, the backwards thing is because they have a mirror.
Right, they wear wrist mirrors so they can actually
to see what they're doing.
They can't look over the suit and adjust their comm levels and their water temperature, right? So, but that's why that's written backwards. If you notice, everything is component. This is what it looks like. Every suit has a bladder, right? That actually holds the pressure of the suit. It has a restraint that holds the shape of the bladder, and then it has this thermal micrometer garment with different layers to help protect the suit and the crew member from the outside elements of orbit, right?
Because they're floating around and stuff is flying around out there.
Well, how you just disconnect that? It's like, it's a twist and a little
So it's not just that easy, right? You can't just in space go, oh no!
You make it look easy. Yeah.
So everything takes 3 modes of operation to open. So you have a primary, a secondary, and then the action of actually opening the disconnect. So, when you have a pressurized suit, you don't want to have to be able to, oh no, the helmet pops off, right? So you have a primary, secondary pull, and then the action of opening the disconnect.
That makes good sense.
So you don't have any oops, right?
Yeah, it's not like you accidentally catch on a latch or something. Right. Oh, that's all it was. It's a latch.
You
don't want that. You intentionally perform multiple, probably different types of actions in order to get it to open.
Right, so there's no accidents.
So you said this is like an older model?
Yes, so older model. Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
Major differences, right?
Oh, just take the...
So this is pants, right? They go on, they're pretty tight. Kind of feels like a bad pair of skinny jeans when you're putting them on, right?
That's what I said. They've got the handles on the sides to help them lift it. And I said, I wish we had those in real life.
So we hate these skinny jeans, but for a couple of reasons. If you see here, all this lacing, right?
Yeah.
So the enhanced suit we use today, it has It's made for Orion. It has sizing rings that just kind of lock into place. They twist and lock in. This old school, all the sizing inserts had to be laced in by hand.
Oh,
so,
wow.
you know, you'd carpal tunnel by the end of your shift.
Absolutely.
And
they would do
That free float for a second.
you go to an engaged position where now it's ready to interface with the SMU of the upper body here. See, it's pliable, and then you have your full O position to get out of the suit.
And then a seal, I would assume.
Yes, we have
connect
multiple
together.
seals. We have a static seal like this one, which basically means when it's locked up, it doesn't move. It's static, right? We have lip seals, which are shoulder bearings used, and they're on the gloves. It's a rotating seal, okay? And then we have O-rings, so once we seal those in and screw them to torque those, they don't move at all. So that's the two major seals that we use on the MU.
Amazing.
You just like take the, it's like, oh yeah, I can disconnect this. If anybody knew how it worked, it would be you, a suit technician.
Absolutely. You know, we were hearing that there's, you know, people wear a lot of hats, right? We were talking to the test director, they also dive, and, you know, all these things. Do you also dive in the pool?
No, I do not. We do have someone, he was a former diver, so he dives something.
Okay.
He keeps his certification just in case we need test subjects for like doing egress training. So we're constantly training on making sure these guys get in and out of the water in a safe manner, right? So every few months or so we do an egress training. I think we have one next week. We get them down in the water and they pretend to do all these scenarios that something's wrong, incapacitated crew member, he's sick, whatever. We take them out safely and get them out of the suit. And then, you know, we work on that constantly. But
very cool.
Earlier you said you use these class 3 parts to failure.
Yes.
So hopefully not failure in the pool while they're wearing them.
No, we make sure that they're pretty good. We have had some issues, but most of the stuff here is just we catch it on our 40-hour inspection, right? We have authorized inspectors do that. We find issues there, we write them up, and get them out of the way.
Yeah, and for safety purposes, like Ari was explaining before, there's cameras down there all the time, and I'm sure if at any point they start seeing bubbles or something.
That's what I'm saying. The suit leaks. We all know the suit leaks. Okay, it's not.
The older suits leak, not the current ones, not the ones in space.
So we all have suits. They all suits leak, right? So what happens is, you know, you see bubbles. As long as the bubbles aren't in their face, sometimes we just let it go, right?
And as long as they're small bubbles.
Right, as long as they're small bubbles. Exactly.
It's okay, and they're overpressurized as well.
Water.
Yes.
So if anything, bubbles are coming out, it's not so much water getting in.
Right, no water's getting in. It's just a positive flow, right, yeah.
So it won't flood their suit. Oh, that'd be terrifying.
That would be traumatic, yeah. What else can we show?
Real quick, we are still, I'm looking for questions in chat. There was a comment in chat saying that you clearly love what you do. You're very passionate about sharing this with us. No, you're awesome. So thank you for spending time to talk with us.
Thank you guys for coming in. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, we're not trying to make your ears burn or anything like that. But Chad's talking about how much it's clear that you love your job. So let me see if I can get some questions out of chat here really quickly. And we do appreciate y'all's patience with the signal. Like, as we move around, we want to show you different things, and it's literally the environment where we turn the wrong way and the signal gets worse. We don't shut down the facility to do this, right? We're not dragging cables through the facility.
Active operations.
Active operations. We don't want to interfere with stuff. We appreciate them taking time out of our day. But thank you all for bearing with us when we have the signal hiccups and stuff like that. It's part of the experience when we do a virtual field trip into a facility like this.
Look, he's literally got, like, the pants.
So this is what we're just discussing. So what he's doing is we have a base measurements for each crew, right? And so what he's doing is this is the lower torso assembly, LTA. He'll hang this on this measuring device, and he's going to take a measurement from the top of the BSC down to the boot there to make sure that it's in spec. But we have a calculated measurement that we use, right?
Yeah. Is that pressurized right now? Is he a hose?
No, he's not. He's pressurized a little bit, yeah. He is pressurized, yeah.
Does it have a top on it? Like does it have a
so it has a plug. It has a
plug. I guess?
It has a plug we use on the shelf on there, the second one down.
Right.
It has a plug that we use. It simulates the SMU, yeah.
So you can just test that as a unit.
We can isolate, exactly. So we isolate the gloves, we isolate the lower torso here and the upper body, and then we do a full-ups testing once we put them all together to make sure that it's safe.
How do you detect a leak primarily? Do you watch a pressure gauge and you see that it's moving? Do you hear it?
Right,
like,
so hearing is one thing, right? The second thing is that our test stand lets us know if our pressure is dropping, right? We have erratic pressure, it lets us know that we might have an issue. And then we just, based on experience, we start troubleshooting hot spots where we know that we typically have leaks from.
Yeah.
If you have a leak for something that you're pulling out for the next day? Are you just like, all right, we'll deal with this later. Let's prioritize this, and then we'll figure it out the week later.
We try and figure it out, right? We want to fix what we can, so it's not the next person to have to deal with it, right?
Yep.
So that's our first goal, is to make sure we try to alleviate the leak. If there is an issue where it's something major and we can't fix it, yes. If it takes a long time, because some of these, like this lower torso, can take a whole day to tear down and build back up.
Yep.
So if we're in a time crunch, yes, we allocate a different piece of hardware, remeasure it, and move on with our lives.
What's the primary cause of leaks that you find when you're doing testing? Is it like a seal? FOD, a hair in the seal or something?
Yes.
Or?
The number one thing always is a piece of hair from a crew member around the neck ring, or a piece of the garment right there stuck in the VSC, just laying across this static seal. All it takes is a piece of thread, and oh my God, it's leaking bad. It messes up the return flow.
That's an easy fix, though,
and
right?
so it is easy fix. The hardest part is you have to bring it back to the pool deck, depressurize, pop it up, take the whole thing,
figure out where it is,
right, figure out where it's at, clean it, go back and go play.
Wow, it's crazy that because this is not a clean room right now.
No.
Like this is an active thing, but they're going to go out there to the pool deck. That's not a clean room either. So you're not in completely sterile environment.
No, it's not sterile. It's a general clean environment, right? Yes.
Yeah.
So we keep it clean as we can. We dust every day to make
There's
sure
the sticky things when you walk in.
Right,
get some dust
we change those daily to keep the dust, the
filters
down.
and stuff in the air.
Right, and we all clean and we wipe down the areas and the hardware every day when we're using them. So,
but we're not in like bunny suits or anything like that.
The flight lab does that, but not us. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You said you use these pieces to the point of failure again. So when you retire them, what do you do with them? Do you sell them on eBay? Do you burn them up?
My address is actually, you can ship to my house.
Yeah, we'll take them.
So a lot of them get access back to NASA, and they have places to store them. Some of them get downgraded to our museums or our PAO or public affairs, and they use it for show and tell for schools and different places like that.
Absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Does anyone has anyone taken them home? Does anyone have one hanging in their closet?
Of course not. Yeah. Everything is. We're super. Our team. Every year we have super. Everything's accounted for.
Inventory.
There's a great question here. Where do the parts come from? Are they made here? Are they made somewhere else? Is it a bunch of places that make them?
So a bunch of places. We have a lot of partners, right?
Yeah.
To make our. We have ILC and Airlock are our two majors. ILC makes all soft goods. Airlock makes all the hard goods for us, right? And we take what they make and we put them together and keep them going.
Gotcha. We like ILC. We hung out with them yesterday.
Oh, that's cool.
So they come from all over, but it's not like here in the lab. Now, is there a shop here where you could make component changes or repairs to the
we
suits?
have basic repairs we can probably do in this lab. We do have machine shops.
Like a seal or something?
Right. We can change out the seals and make repair minor stuff here in the lab.
Yeah.
We do have a machine shop that would take care of major stuff for us.
Gotcha.
And if it's anything more than that, it goes back to the
manufacturer or contractor. Yeah.
Yep.
And I think they were saying you're also certified technicians to work on the scuba gear as well. You can break it down to very tiny parts.
So yes, those guys can do that.
They also
in the
have
scuba
that
shop,
as well on site.
Excellent. I don't know if we're going to try to walk through there. The signal there was really tough.
It was terrible. We can't take you there, unfortunately. But no, I mean, you think about it. The divers, there's so many of them in the pool at any given time. So many tanks. You might have seen as we were walking around, there's tanks everywhere.
I mean, they're doing like the shifts where they're like 2 hours
shifts,
in, shift out, shift out. So if they're doing a 6-hour training, you've got 3 shifts of divers, and there's some overlap and all sorts of stuff.
They fill their tanks
use a lot
here
of dive gear
on site. They mix all of their gases here on site. We saw the pipes and the containers and everything out in the back. We can't take you out there, I don't think, out of today. But there's a lot of maintenance just for that aspect of it as well to keep them safe, too. So it's suits and wetsuits, really.
Right,
too.
that's it. And we're all trying to accomplish the same goal: is on time, air free, and make sure whoever's in the suit is safe as they can be, and they're focused on their task and not the fit whatever's going on in the suit. So that's our ultimate job here.
It's a very collaborative building. There's so much collaboration.
It takes so many people to make 2 guys go in the water for 6 hours.
Right? It is. We were saying that earlier. There's like hundreds of people that work.
I mean,
here.
I could put 2 people in the pool pretty easily. It's doing it safely and having to do something useful, like get useful training out of it. So I see a bunch of questions, but a lot of the questions I see aren't about the suit lab, but they're about when we get back out there again. Again, we're going to try to go out and see them come out of the pool in just a second. They'll get on the crane, I guess.
Would it be the doffing stand?
Thank you,
donning stands. We'll put them on the deck.
Do you call it the doffing stand when they get out,
No, it's the same thing.
You have to change the name. It's like, no, that's a doffing stand now. It's not a donning stand.
If it's going up or down, it changes the name. I don't know.
So we are going to try to go out and show you all that. So the questions about pressure in the pool and stuff, I'm going to hang on to some of those. If you have any more questions while we're here in the suit lab about spacesuits, because we have a spacesuit engineer with us, technician with us, ask me some questions in the chat. tag us at NASA Spaceflight or just do at NSF, and let's see if there's anything else we can answer for you while we're here. I'm going to scroll. Like, while I'm on my phone, I'm not ignoring you, by the way.
No, you're
I'm reading chat questions so that we can ask what folks at home are watching. So,
what is your background?
I was in the United States Air Force, you know what I mean, for a little while. I have HVAC pressure systems background, you know, and here I started working here.
HVAC pressure systems is perfect for a pressurized.
Yeah, right. So I kind of fell right into this, yeah.
That's so interesting. So you just saw a job posting for suit technician. What made you make that connection?
Just, you know, try something different, you know.
Sure.
They called me in. Here we are, you know.
It really is interesting, all the different backgrounds of people. Like she was saying, there's marine biologists.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of military,
all
ex-military.
walks of life, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then just people who just like scuba diving.
Speaking of all walks of life, have you seen our wall of fame back here?
Oh, tell us about that.
So every day, you know, you'll have, like, you had a Japanese and a Canadian or an American and a Russian or UK with the UAE. It changes every day. Everybody's
swap them out.
Or the Velcro?
It's Velcro, yes.
That's for the suits. You got to swap them out based on their... Oh, my God.
See? Today is USA, tomorrow is Japan. Yeah.
Oh my God! And it's like
right.
waterproof.
So we have three major sizes of the SMU, right? We have a medium large and extra large, and you know, based on your measurements on your components of what we're using. Today, a medium hut might be using an American crew member. Tomorrow may be a Japanese crew member, and it just changes daily. Right?
It's awesome that you have these available so you can swap them out. Like,
yeah.
So here's a great question, and I think I sort of know part of the answer. How many different suits are here?
Okay, that's a good question. So
it's a trick question.
It's a trick question because depending on if there's any broke, we have any repairs right now. We probably have about 8 of backpacks, so we could probably build about 8 suits right now.
You probably build about 8 suits.
8, yeah.
But a suit doesn't live as a suit, like a collection of components. A suit is assembled from a bunch of different components.
It's a bunch of components assembled to one component. Yes.
Right.
And it's
So you come down to sort of a limiting factor, a limiting part, like backpacks, the PLSS?
The PLIS, the Primary Life Support System.
They say PLIS. I tried to say PLSS.
Yeah, acronyms.
So that's like the limiting factor where you have that many of these. You have lots of gloves, you have lots of torches, you have lots of
we only have so many of these, so we can only build so many suits. Yeah.
What's the most number of astronaut trainees that you've had in the pool?
So probably 5. I think most I've ever seen is 5. So we used to run, like let's say in the shuttle days, we had an A side, a B side, right? And that's 2 on each side. And then they even sometimes put a person on the outside crane.
Yep.
And so we have those in there, and that's exciting.
And I meant to bring this up earlier too. Before the ISS, you guys had a shuttle in the water.
Yes, the whole shuttle.
That's so cool.
Payload bay and everything.
Which makes sense though. They had to train on what they were doing because they had EVAs on the shuttle.
Yep.
That's it. Yeah.
That's
no
so cool. I would have loved to see that. That's great. We have a space shuttle at the museum I work at.
Right. Yeah.
I love this. The passion of everybody that we've talked to is awesome. Like everybody that we've talked to as we go around the NBL
Everyone's been so
has been
nice.
so excited to explain stuff to us. Nobody super greened us. Like not a single person has been like green.
No, it's
from Fifth Element, where they ask a question, he's like green. What's your favorite color?
Oh, Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Like everybody is so excited to explain their work. They know their stuff. That's why they're here, right?
Yeah.
That's right.
How long have you been working on spacesuits?
I actually started over here in 2007, right? But I worked in Flight Lab before that, so
you were rapidly approaching 20 years.
23 years, something like that. Yeah.
Wow.
So he can talk about spacesuits.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So another question real quick, and I see the answer on the table. Here in the NBL, do they use the cooling garments?
Yes, we do.
Oh.
Yes. Do you all maintain the cooling garments
as well? Yes, we do.
Well?
This way.
Oh, we had those on yesterday.
So this is called a liquid cooling ventilation garment, right? It has a few cool jobs. So one thing it does, obviously, has like a radiator in your car, right? It has these tubelets that run through it, and it circulates cold water over your body to keep your body cool.
It's fantastic. We both had them on.
Yeah, we both had them on. They feel great.
Yeah.
Feel
beautiful
great.
when it gets
doesn't take long. Yes, it doesn't take long for it to cool. Yeah. So you have all the tubelets, right? That's a major component. Next, we have your vent systems, right? So you always have fresh air going across your face, and your CO2 gets evacuated through this plenum area, and it kind of gets evacuated through to the system line, right? Another major system. You see these padding on here. Most of the pads are volumetric padding, right? They just take up space in the suit because, of course, in orbit, you don't have gravity, and you're not going to move around the suit. Here, you're going to shift quite a bit because of the gravity. So most of our padding, especially these padding and this one, is for volumetric purposes. And when they're doing, like, say, inverted ops on their back or their side, right, these elbow pads, they're not protecting their elbows. What they're doing is they're pushing their hands into the glove so they keep that dexterity on their fingertips to maintain to whatever task they're doing.
Right.
Okay, you see this big thing here, this is called a crotch pad, right? Well, this is like a little bicycle seat for the bottom of the LTA. It kind of gives you a booster seat.
We didn't have that. We didn't have
You
that
didn't have the
in the suit
booster
that we
seat?
tried on. No.
Oh, that sucks.
Or
But
did we?
this
I don't
is,
think so.
it keeps you boosted in the seat because the suit expands over 6 hours and you'll kind of start to sink down and you want to stay in the optimal work envelope, right?
Yeah.
So this keeps you in that position.
And I would imagine as well for maybe people who are a little smaller
Right.
than, you know, the medium-sized suit.
Yes.
You were saying there's only medium, large, and extra large.
That's correct.
So, you know, as more women get into, you know, doing this stuff as well, like that idea of having padding, I guess, helps to have a little bit of resistance when they're moving inside.
That's exactly what it's for. And we use we have back pads we use, we have hip pads, rib pads, everything to keep that crew member stationary in the suit so they're doing their job. They're not focusing on fighting the suit, right? Just stay in position where their optimal position. They can relax and do their job. It keeps them in position. That's what this is for right here.
Interesting.
Yep.
So we have a new exhibit at the museum that we're doing the stream for here on underwater archaeology, and it's a really interesting idea that how this is your spacesuit. You know, this is literally your mini spaceship for you. It's an exosuit, and they also have those for diving as well underwater too, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea like how that might be a little different since you are in a neutral buoyancy lab? That idea of water on top of a spacesuit, does that affect it at all anyway?
It only affects some of the bearings. Like for us, we use different chemicals, like a dry film chemical that we use for the suit for open and closing, and so sometimes it can gum up some of those systems. But that's where the maintenance comes in. That's where we do our constant doing maintenance to make sure that it's optimal, right? But sometimes we have, it's because it wasn't designed for water, right?
Of course.
So sometimes we deal with corrosion issues sometimes, right? And so every day we take the suits, break them down, we wash them with fresh water, right? We sterilicide the insides, just try and wipe them alcohol before we return them so that it always stays the way it should be. But after every 40 hours, you have lots of corrosion that we have to deal with.
I would think the chlorine over time.
Yeah.
Also
The electricity as well, because there's cables and stuff like that in the pool, and that's going to affect certain metals.
As a collective, we all deal with those type of things. Yeah.
Wow.
Especially with tools. So.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I'm going to do one last pass for questions here, but we have more cool stuff at the Neutral Buoyancy Lab.
And you all have to get up there too to help with the doffing procedures,
That's correct.
right?
Yeah.
We're going to follow you up there.
All right.
Very cool. Any other questions?
Let's. There's one more good question here, and we can talk about this wherever. Is it always 2 astronauts that get into the pool? Do you ever prprepare 3 suits? Do you make a backup
they had up to 5
So sometimes we do have. A lot of what happens is you'll have 2 crew, and one of them will get sick, or one of them is unable to do his task for the day. So we'll run with 1 crew member, right? In that case, you'll see that on the donning stand, you'll have a diver on the other side to counterbalance the donning stand, right? Right. But yes, we do run 2 and 3, and we have multiple even now. Occasionally happens, right? For some tasks. Because a lot of times you have a newer crew member who's in training with a senior or experienced crew member, or you may have to have a third person come in and show them, hey, this side's done.
You're awesome. Hopefully we're not bothering your work too much.
Yeah,
like you're just here doing your thing. Like, don't mind me just working on a spacesuit glove. We appreciate you letting us come into the lab here and be here while you're doing your work.
Yeah.
So we are headed to the high bay next.
All right.
We're going to try an experiment. We've been holding the camera very still at one specific part of the room. But as we walk this way, remember once again, y'all, we may run out of signal. If so, oh no, you have to listen in to the test comms and watch the divers in the pool on the feeds there, whatever shot you do. You'll be fine. But as we walk this way, we'll see if we can get some close-ups. If it starts to die, the signal starts to go down, just expect us. We're going to pop back up when we're in the high bay because they're doing some training over the high bay. Pretty sure I said it right. Yeah, high bay. Because we're doing some training over there that we want to talk about. So bear with us. Let's see if we get some close-ups of some stuff here as we walk out. And that is our next destination. We can keep talking.
Yeah, we can keep talking.
It's just that the audio may drop out, but the chat knows. Like, we're walking around, we want to show them cool stuff. We don't want to not do something because, oh, no, what happens if the signal doesn't work?
Yeah.
So.
And Jason, as you come past, see if you can get a shot of all of their random items in that closet, too.
I appreciate you guys coming in here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. But we'll see how this signal holds up as we show a couple different things here. I'm watching. We've got telemetry on the phone to see how the
you see the video's going?
All a good time. Now that we're done talking, it's fine over here. So.
See the UAE, there's a UAE sticker on it.
There you go. Do you sometimes you're like, oh, we got to get a new flag because we're getting an
It happens.
Yeah,
it happens. You get a new crew, we have to put in, hey, so, wait a minute, we don't have a flag. So there's a mad dash to hurry up and get it done, yeah.
Let's get that for them. We don't want them to show up and not have their flag badge.
And you never want to have the wrong flag on somebody. That's a big no-go.
It's like, trust us, that's France. Or like, it's the right colors, I guess. There's 3 bars.
Look at that.
All right, so we are going to get on out of here.
All right, here's your...
Yeah, here, I got it. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time.
Oh, we have some good questions for when we get up there, too, I just found.
All right.
All right, here we go.
Off we go.
TSO, go. Backup, go. Topside, go. PCS, go. Crane, go. CDO, go. Suit engineer, go. Fuel engineer, go. MET, go. All right. 801, is that doing station? 820. Okay, station call 82020.
Yeah, good baseline glove check. TV2, forward light band, T10 button is up, forward light band not visible. Okay, J1, he made it. No FOD, no vent pins, good EMI band.
Copy.
Great, TV2, F59 is mated to M1. Okay, so I'm good to head there.
Apron, your go.
Watching your head. Okay, I'm going to pull ahead of you here a little bit. Watching your safety tether out there. I'm going to hold you here. So I go down first. Okay, you're going to twist right up against the airlock. Hold right here.
All right.
And we're back again.
Check back in with us again. Let us know if you can hear us, see us. Like, we just walked next to a huge tank of water. And when we get too close to the tank of water, the signal is not great, especially on the side, because it's 4 stories taller, almost 4 stories tall, right? It's 40 feet deep.
So it's 40 feet deep, but it's 20 feet above and 20 feet below.
20 feet above and 20 feet below. So we came down 2 stories, and then there's 2 more stories underneath us here at ground level.
That's right.
Art, you've been like walking around with us, but we haven't introduced you yet.
This is Art Levine. He's another test director here. Yeah. We're standing here. This is kind of the entrance. There's like a door, but like this is sort of like this is the picture you see. You know, welcome to the NBL. But yeah, no, you take it away. Tell us where we are.
So yeah, this is our South High Bay. It's kind of a staging kind of a place. So during maintenance periods, if we have to pull mock-ups out of the pool, we can take them and put them in here, work on them, refurbish them, and then lift them back into the pool. But we also have things like this. This is our Nomad, which is that's another acronym. So it's NASA's.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah. So NASA's Orion attitude dunker.
They put NASA
Wait, it
in the
starts
acronym.
with
it's
NASA?
An acronym in an.
It's like a recursive acronym or something.
It never ends. It's like acronymception.
But I mean, it's kind of a cool name.
It is cool.
So
it is
this
cool.
is actually a piece of equipment that we can help train crew for when they come back to Earth.
Right.
They should land in what we call this attitude, which is stable 1.
Right.
If for some reason, say the sea state was a little heavy or anything like that, and it was actually upside down, that would be called stable 2. In stable 2, that's when those big orange balls that you always see on the old Apollo days,
right?
Those would inflate and then flip it back over. So we're actually
should flip it back over.
You should, yeah. So this is our contingency planner. So if for some reason they wait those 4 minutes and the CMIS, which is the crew module uprighting system, this big balloons, doesn't flip it over, they will get the go ahead and pop the top hatch and then swim out and egress to their life raft.
So we saw it in the pool in stable 1.
Right.
This can go in the pool and go upside down.
Yeah. So we'll actually rotate it. And yeah.
Now, is the crew in it when it's getting rotated?
Yes.
Or do they go into it already upside down?
No, they'll go into it like this, and then they'll rotate
It's like
over.
a terrible Ferris wheel ride.
Yeah,
like,
terrible
or a
No.
Can we walk
terrible
that way? Like, can we walk
amusement
closer?
park ride.
Absolutely, sure thing.
Is that okay?
So they're literally like hanging from their seats upside down, and then it's like, okay, go, and then they have to do their training.
Yeah, we typically like to, you want to plan for every contingency that we can possibly have.
Absolutely.
And yeah, if you're hanging face down in your harness, that's not going to be very comfortable for very long, especially fully suited. So yeah, they'll get out of their harnesses carefully, lower themselves to a stable position, and then they can start working procedures to remove that top hatch and then do that swim out. So they'll actually egress a life raft, which is like this one over here. This is a 4-man life raft.
Okay.
That would go out first, and then they would tether to the lanyard and then swim out with it.
So it's upside down. They open a hatch, and the water comes in.
It wouldn't come in
how does
very
that
much.
work?
So it's like putting a cup underwater.
So it's going to have air to kind of...
Right. The module's actually pressurized still. So we actually have to vent some pressure, and then the water might come in maybe a few inches. But yeah, like I said, it's like holding a cup underwater.
Gotcha. It has a little diving jar, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
We're at the NBL, we should use those sorts of heads.
So
like a diving bell.
The hatch door then, like, it can't really push out against all the pressure then? Does it slide or come in?
It actually has 2 hatches. So we have a top hatch and then a side hatch. So the top hatch actually comes in. And then they would stow it inside the capsule, and then they would swim out.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is a little chunky. Like, it doesn't look exactly like the spacecraft, but the important thing here is that the holes are in the right spot.
Right.
Like, here's the door you go through. It's the same size. Here's how you get to it from your seat. You don't need all the little logos and stuff like that on the outside.
Yeah, exactly. And we kind of beefed it up, too, because it rotates not only end over end, but it spins around, so we can actually get into what they call a stable 3 position, which is kind of really not like our really a great position to be in.
Right.
So that would be with the top hatch pointing sideways, and then you're kind of it's just sitting almost upright.
Wow. Oh, wow.
But
I like how they're positive about everything. It's like stable 1, stable 2. It's all stable.
Yeah,
it's
intentionally
relative.
like it's designed that way.
Well, I mean, all those positions are pretty stable. So you'll just have to plan for those contingencies on what to do next. But yeah, stable 2 would be the most uncomfortable. Stable 3 is less comfortable. But stable 1 is ideal.
So we saw the wave maker up there. Do they ever really like put them through their paces and do it like stable 3 or stable 2, like with the waves?
Like you're being
and
recovered
the mist?
in a
It's
tropical
like,
storm.
We're going to give you everything. Like you landed in a hurricane.
I don't believe we're doing.
They wouldn't launch if there was a hurricane there.
We're not
Well, but it's landing, right?
Well, they wouldn't deorbit if there's a hurricane there. Because we've seen them push dates. We've seen them push undocking dates.
That's true.
absolutely.
When the recovery weather conditions are no-go.
Can they do that when they're coming back from the moon, though?
That's a different thing, and I think not.
I actually don't know the answer to that.
That would be pretty bad. But
well, they should know 3 days out.
Yeah, you probably have some move.
Yeah, we have some move.
Some flexibility.
And there's probably a backup location in case there's a hurricane.
There is, typically.
This is not NBL like stuff.
We're like
though.
far
Sorry,
afield from
I'm
NBL.
just like
It's
having
talk to us
hypothetical
about orbital
situations.
mechanics.
Right.
And he's like, does that bubble?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a scuba diver.
No, it's okay.
You're quite a scuba diver, though.
Yeah.
You've divin? Dove.
You've
dove at the NBL for more than 1,000 hours?
Yes. Yeah, I've got a little over 1,300 hours.
That's incredible. All your certifications, we were reading your bio earlier, like, whoa, this guy knows his stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love this place, and that's why I've been here for so I'm coming on my 12th year now. So.
Yeah.
What is your background then? How did you get involved in this crazy place?
I've been diving for, like I said, probably over 20 years now, and I came from actually the deep sea oil and gas side. So
cool.
Just, that kind of got a little old, tired of traveling, and this job came up, and I said, "Oh, that sounds perfect." Work with astronauts, because I was always a space nerd as a kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Astronauts and diving, and you're home every night. Great.
And you're home every night. No,
oh, gosh.
Not a lot of that in oil and gas.
So
no.
Part of the reason we're doing this stream is, of course, because I'm going to come over here.
Okay.
Because the museum here that we're doing this for, the Intrepid Museum where I work, we have a new exhibit on underwater archaeology. So I'm actually a little bit intrigued by this past life that you've had. Did you do deep sea diving for that? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So deep sea oil and gas was, where we actually get in a diving bell, and then you're traveling to depth, and you might stay there or you stay at depth because the bell will come back up. I was by no means like a seasoned sat diver or anything, but
like an aquanaut.
Yeah, you come out of
That's the thing. You can get certified as an aquanaut.
Really?
It's true. I'm going to try to do that.
But yeah,
what do you have to pass the Kármán line in reverse or something?
Let's give him mic 3.
Okay.
We're getting a little bit of static on 4.
Sure. Let's press that and make sure it
Yeah, the Aquanaut certification.
Swap us out.
Are we still live though? Yeah. Okay, the Aquanaut
we're
certification it's kind of silly. You just spend a night in a undersea. It's actually an old decommissioned
Oh, is it that one in Key Largo?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm totally going to do that. They deliver you pizza underwater and
that's
stuff.
pretty cool.
Anyway, sorry. Tell me about your life.
Deep sea diving, it was using a diving bell to go down to depth and then coming back up. And then once you're on deck, you have 5 minutes to get in the chamber. They recompress you, and then they bring you up slowly.
Oh, wow.
What is the longest you've been underwater then?
Like the typical work day is like 8 hours, and then
you
come up.
So you don't live under there.
Yeah, no,
okay.
that's more sat diving.
Have you ever been in a decompression chamber?
Yes, and we have one here.
And we have one. What a transition!
But real quick, we also have an oil and gas and private industry tie-in as well, because the NBL is not just working with NASA.
That's right. We have a private. Or not private customer.
You've got some extra capacity.
Yeah, external customer things that we do in the pool. So oil and gas, ties into that as well. We've brought in full-size ROVs, a 1 atmosphere suit, stuff like that, just to help them develop more stuff for the oil and gas field.
They need a laboratory with a big tank of water to test their stuff in, and a controlled environment with professionals who know how to run it.
There's actually like a separate little side tank that people companies, or organizations, whatever, can rent out to experiment whatever they're working on.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like a private thing.
Yeah, it's great stuff. So if we want to go,
should we mosey that way?
Yeah, let's talk about the other stuff here, including this. Maybe as we're walking the decompression chamber, what is that used for, and why were you in it?
So that's typically for diving maladies. So if you're getting the bends or anything like that, they'll put you into a decompression chamber. So they can put you at depth and then bring you up slowly and give you oxygen, so you're going to off-gas that nitrogen faster. When we were in them for the oil and gas, it was actually just preventative.
Oh, okay.
So you can come up faster, get in the chamber, and not have to worry about the bends.
But that's really in case of an emergency here, because like we were speaking with Ari earlier, she says there's really no need for like a safety stop. You guys are very conservative on your dive tables, and really shouldn't have a need for decompression, but just in case, you have it here immediately.
If you get something like an AGE, if you accidentally hold your breath as you're ascending, so that arterial gas embolism,
right?
So that'll be a bubble going to your brain, and that's really not good. So we'll put you in the chamber and then press you down, shrink that bubble back into a liquid, and then start bringing you up slowly.
Let it diffuse back out instead of being a cohesive bubble, for lack of a better term.
That's really it.
Something about hydrogen bonding. But you have a bubble, and you want that bubble to get smaller because you repressurize them, and then you bring them up slowly so that it gets time to diffuse back into the blood, which is it's always diffused, or it's usually diffused in your blood.
Yeah.
It's just when you pressurize it, you get that. There's a great question in chat now. Because we talked a little bit about this yesterday. We got a tour to make sure that we understood. We could talk. But there's no gravity, or there's microgravity in space.
Right.
And so here we can make them neutrally buoyant. So things don't have that apparent weight. Right. They still have mass, you push them around. But the astronauts in space don't get affected by gravity. Here in the pool, you may be neutrally buoyant, but there's still gravity in the suit. So if I have to work sideways or upside down, I could get into a situation where the blood all flows to my head.
Right.
How do you deal with that here, where you don't want them to work upside down for long periods of time?
So we have a hard rule that they can't be heads down for more than 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
So at 5 minutes, we'll pull them, be like, hey, are you okay? Because it can add more pressure on your sinuses and things like that.
Yep.
It's also a little bit more disorienting if your head's down. And then at the next 5 minute mark, we're like, hey, you got to come up for at least 5 minutes, get that blood flowing back, and then we'll let you go back to working heads down.
Again.
So yeah, that gravity inside the suit is quite a thing.
Can only do so
and
much.
they also fall around in the suit, so it'll change the way out. So we'll constantly changing that way out in the suit because now there's a lot more airspace on this side.
On this side, so the suit is wanting to buoy this way, I guess. Right. Do you ever move around anything in the pool? Like, okay, they got a big task to do here. Let's rotate it 90 degrees so when they're working, they're not heads up, heads down or anything like that. And you move something like a workstation in the pool.
Absolutely, yeah. We have a whole reconfiguration team. They come in a little bit later than the regular dive team.
Yeah.
And if something needs to be rotated, we have these two giant gantry cranes.
Right.
So we can just pick it up, rotate it 90 degrees. To whatever attitude that the test is calling for, and it makes it a little easier on the subjects. So, yeah.
It makes good sense. It's a really good question in chat. I saw that one. I had to jump in because we're talking about the health of the subjects that are diving, not just the astronauts, but the divers as well. And that is like in space, you don't have to worry about that. You can flip in whichever orientation you want, and you don't have the blood rushing to your head. But here, even though you can make it neutrally buoyant, you still have gravity.
Still working on Earth.
Yeah.
Exactly. We don't have an
haven't figured that one out
test.
yet, right?
Yeah. Just going back to this real fast, so we have the decompression chamber, but this is the opposite of that, right?
Right. This is a hypobaric chamber. So hypo. So this is actually an altitude chamber. So we can simulate them going to altitude. We train, like I said, multitudes of people, not just astronauts. We have pilots and things like that come in for a recertification for altitude chamber and stuff like that, so that pulling a vacuum and they're going up in altitude.
Yep.
Right.
It's for their sake as well, because then they can kind of know what it feels like to be hypoxic.
Yeah.
So they're getting that lack of oxygen. There's telltale signs like my ears start ringing, and then my hands go a little numb.
You feel like know what it's like.
Yeah, so I know exactly as we're going up and there's less and less oxygen.
Yep.
You know those signs and symptoms, and then you can be like, okay, I need to get on oxygen.
How your body's going to react.
Right.
So you're not surprised. You don't want to be surprised by anything when you're out there on the job.
Why can't I feel my arm? What's going on?
Exactly. And this is such a big part of the NBL. Like, there's specialized equipment that supports the work you do here, but you have extra capacity sometimes.
Right.
And so it's not just, only the NBL divers get into this. If there are other organizations that can use it, there are ways that they can get access to do that. Like
absolutely.
you said, the military can come in, or whichever other customers come in.
Yeah, we back right up to Ellington Field, so it kind of makes sense, right?
So the stuff isn't just sitting there, fallow is the wrong term, unused. There's probably a word for that when it comes to like assigning assets, but it doesn't just sit there unused.
Right.
There are other folks that can benefit from the capacity you have.
Dust.
There you go, collecting dust.
So this is really interesting.
Yes.
Can we talk about this thing too? So we saw earlier the Artemis section, the moon section of the pool.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about this thing here.
So this is our PGWS, another acronym, right? So partial gravity way out system. So we use this we'll put the suit in here because we're trying to calculate the center of buoyancy and the center of gravity. You know how y'all were talking earlier about how you might fall forward or fall backwards. We're trying to make the astronaut be comfortable in a standing position.
Right.
So once we calculate the center of buoyancy and the center of gravity, we have a rough estimate, and then we'll put them into this device here that it measures that center of gravity, and then we'll tilt them, and you can kind of see where the center of buoyancy goes, and then we can do some number crunching, you know, I can't crunch that many numbers, but we have some folks that do that full time.
Yeah.
It's a team effort.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Collaborative. Yes.
It does take a village really to you know, get human spaceflight in work. So yeah.
So this is how you figure out the center of gravity for each of the suits that goes in the pool for the neutral buoyancy thing. But the applications for the moon stuff as well is interesting because of course they're not neutrally buoyant on the moon, and so you need to like weight them differently so you can figure out where the center of gravity is and like where you want it to be.
Right. Yeah. We try and keep it within like a football size and a couple inches in front of and behind your chest.
Yeah.
So that's where you want that central.
Unless you want them to be weighted for the moon, though, is what I was getting at.
if you want them weighted for the moon, so this also takes their weight.
Yeah.
So we will calculate where do we need to put weight or take away weight for each subject because it can vary, you know, by everybody's body structure. How much air you push out of the suit, or you know how
displace.
much. Yeah. Displace.
Different axes. It's not just the one.
Can I propose an idea?
Yeah.
Can we keep talking up on the deck?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh,
because we are now at 2:48.
Okay, perfect.
And at some point we wanted to say, I don't want to miss. I don't want to go up there and they're like,
no,
no.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
So we can keep talking about all of these things.
Are we going to lose signal when we go up the stairs, or can I start asking some of the questions from chat too?
We can. I don't know. It's probably safest for us to get up there. Let's walk.
All right.
And then when we get up there, I just want to be on the deck if they're about to bring them out. I don't want to miss that.
40 feet tall. How far you need? Really cool thing to point out here. Thank you, Dom. This wall is 40 feet tall.
Oh.
So if you imagine you're swimming down, if you are standing on the bottom of the pool, that's how far you would need to swim up to get to the surface. That is awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That's a really good perspective for us here. Oh, so this is actually, that's awesome. That's great. That's really helpful. So half of it is 20 feet. The other half is underneath the water.
You know what makes sense? Like if you're going to be able to fit it in there, which is 20 up and 20 down.
I'm going to walk over here so you can get perspective.
You need that much space here. Is she going for scale?
For scale.
I believe so.
I don't have a banana, so it's me for scale. So I'm on the bottom of the pool, and I got to swim that high up. Hopefully I've cleared my ears at this point, because around here I have a sticky ear, so I'm swimming.
I hope the wireless mic works.
Can you hear me? But like for perspective, that's, nothing to sneeze at. Although I will say when you are underwater looking up, it looks closer, I feel like. With the light.
You get that magnification.
The magnification, That's great perspective. Thank you for pointing that out.
Let's head up to the deck. Right. And again, once again, y'all, we're just walking. We're bringing you with us. If the signal drops, we have other feeds to show you. We'll check in with the test, but let's go back up to the deck so we can see them getting out. And we'll pause 1 second for D here.
What is this?
We have a walking trail. You can walk, if you walk around the building 5 times, that's 1 mile.
Just for exercise?
Mm-hmm.
Just because?
In the air conditioning.
Yeah.
You don't have to go walk outside. You can walk inside.
It's just funny. There's like a foot.
All right, we're good to go.
We're good?
Yeah.
Once you did your nadir cube. Once you did your nadir QD, you would work on the other one, which is M2. So same operations, open the thermal buoy, TA clamps is required, close the valve and demate. You'd then move to the 2 zenith QDs, M3 and M1. Same procedure with those, and then install caps on all 4 male QDs.
And is this the one that had dummy QDs for hooking up?
A-frame.
Okay, I see all that, I think. Okay.
And I believe in this procedure, the NZGLs are already disconnected, but if they were not done already, you'd have to be doing those as well.
Copy.
Questions on any of the interfaces or any of the bolts?
Remove and replace.
Remove and replace.
We should have about 8 more minutes.
Perfect, thank you.
We have a...
Running the crew members over to the docks.
Will we watch the bubbles move across the pool?
Yeah. We've got a couple of questions here.
Go for it.
If you want me to keep
Absolutely.
going. So how many hours might an astronaut in training spend in the pool before they have enough experience to actually do an EVA?
That's a really good question. You might know the answer to that one.
Sorry, number of hours in the pool?
Yeah, how long would an astronaut need to train in the pool before they're qualified to do an EVA?
Okay, so they do 9 MBL runs that are initial MBL runs. This is like bare training, just learning to move around in the suit a little bit. So each of those runs are going to be 6 hours. So we're looking at those initial 9, and then they'll do 9 during their assigned flow for actual skills that should be applicable to them when they go fly, or if they are needing to go do a spacewalk in a short amount of time, we're training them to be able to pick up those tasks really quickly.
So that's about what,
so 18 times 6, something in there, 20 minus 12, so 108.
Yeah. Wow, I just thought I had the first time in my life on camera. Holy crap. Yeah, no, that's a lot of time
Quick math.
to do a mission. That's incredible. Oh, they're coming up.
Yeah, they're
Yeah, so
right
Oh, wow.
we're just going to be take them right to the donning stand, and
They're literally just pulling them across the water. This is incredible.
I felt a little rude when I was like, hey, we should go up, but I'm good now.
No,
I'm
you justified
vindicated.
this. You're good.
no, this is where that diver training comes in, because those suits are a little hard to push through that water.
This is like rescue diver level stuff, right? Like dragging
yes.
people in for safety.
Yeah, if
Dragging
they were
dead
like
weight.
350 pounds. Yeah. So that's our.
And we may need to move around a little bit here, y'all, and we'll be limited on where we can stand. So bear with us if it takes us a second to find a signal sweet spot. We'll follow you.
Okay, I was going to say we can get right up over here. Okay. Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Perfect. And so we'll be right here. Just like I said, everybody's minding that yellow line. We're all good. So.
And I'm sure y'all have seen it, but there are sort of yellow safety lines that we are sort of staying out of here to make sure we're not in the way. We don't ever want to be in the way. We don't come here to interfere with the operations or slow things down, or we're going to have to redo the training again. We want to make sure that we can try to share this with you, but not get in the way.
So that piece right there, that's one of those APFRs.
Okay.
That's the hi-fi version.
Oh, for them to put their feet into.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
This little foot
It's got
wrap.
a barb on it, so you can plug it into. We have multiple worksite interfaces, WIFs. Worksite interface fixtures. They're all over the station. So if they need to stay still in one spot and work on something, we can plug that APFR in there. So now they're gonna lock these suits into our donning stand, and once the divers give the test director the okay that they've done all the safety steps, we're gonna pull them out of the water.
Comes the other one.
That's
And
easy.
is this a float camera right here in front of us? Too?
Yeah, that's
that yellow thing he's holding.
That yellow thingy there. Yeah, that's my bread and butter.
Oh, you do that all the time?
It's kind of one of the things that we work on quite often. So camera interfaces in the water is it's a hard thing to do.
Sure.
Water and electricity.
Absolutely. Well, and also staying stable. Trying to keep it all.
Yeah.
Get your trim right.
That's where everybody starts. That's their first underwater job as a float diver.
It seems like a fun thing to do, though.
It is. Yeah, it's quite relaxing.
Yeah.
Are there times when you intentionally change the buoyancy, like you want them to come up so you make them a little bit positive, or are they always neutral until they get on the stand?
Our goal is to have them completely neutral until we get them on the stand.
Gotcha.
Because
if you start to float, you may get to the surface and then you're in an awkward position or something like that. So it's better to just stay in control where you can move around in all three axes.
And we're doing the way out for the whole run. So you'll see safety divers coming in, adding weight, taking away weight. It just depends on where you are in that water column.
Gotcha.
So we need to adjust your buoyancy there.
You mentioned when they go down on the float, so they take their time at their speed. Is it the same thing for coming up as well? Do you let them kind of say like, hey, I want to go a little slower, or is it usually just like, no, I'm fine?
We do have an ascent rate that we try to keep within. So if you're at the very bottom of the pool, it should take you about 2 minutes to get to the surface. Going down is, at your own pace. There's no descent.
Right.
Well, if you're going faster than, I think the rule was like 70 feet per minute.
Right.
You don't want to exceed that because you're going to hurt yourself more than likely.
And real quick, let's remind everybody, right now, it's this month's Intrepid Museum Astro Live, but we took it on the road. We are live at the Natural Buoyancy Lab?
This is not the Hudson River.
This is not the Hudson River. It's way too clean. But we are here, and they are just about to take the astronauts out of the pool. They've been training in the pool since this morning, about 6 hours of training, and they've invited us to come here and share this with y'all. So you can see on the camera, those are the astronauts that have gotten on this big crane fixture, and in just a few minutes, we're going to lift them out of the water and see them start to get their suits off. It's a bonus extended edition show here today.
Oh, and it looks like they're coming up. There they go.
Those guys have been in there for 6 hours.
6
I
hours.
like he's smiling.
That's a long day.
Oh, sure. Just tell us where to stand. Okay, so I'll come over here.
Alicia, stand further from Jason.
Yep.
Thank you.
And so the two astronauts in the pool today are...
Roger Chari was EV1 and Delaney was EV2. Or I had that. Did I have that backwards? I had that backwards. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Chari's EV2, Delaney's EV1. Alright. So now we have the team going through it. Like I said, it takes a village. Everybody's got a little job here. Topside is going to remove weight packs. The tool technicians will take off their tethers and tools. And the suit techs will remove their weapons. So once all that happens, we'll go ahead and depress the suits because they are sitting at 4 psi.
Right.
And then once that's done, they'll pop a glove because there is a little residual pressure in the suit. It's usually less than 0.7 psi.
Right.
So
that's sort of the. We can tell you all about that.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the smallest holes in the suit, so you're not doing the entire helmet where they do the glove because it sort of controls the final little depressurization.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nice. You know how we know? We put on spacesuits.
Humble brag.
That's very awesome.
That's how we know.
Have you been in one of these suits?
Yes, we do.
Is that part of training for all the divers?
Part of the training for all of our divers is to get in the suit. Because we do practice emergency egress simulations. So every safety diver, every quarter has to do at least one emergency egress simulation. So we're always trained up, ready to go.
So he's not impressed that we were in the suits yesterday?
No.
You're talking to the wrong guy.
We've been there, nice.
Gets in a suit. It's but it's one thing to be dry though, and then it's another to get in the water with them.
Yeah.
You do get quite a bit of visual distortion. It's like putting a fishbowl on.
Under the water.
Underwater.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does it fog up? How do they keep from... I know there's the fan, right?
Yes.
We talked a little bit about that, but underwater it's different than in space. Is there...
that airflow is constant and it's drier air.
Yeah.
So it's not going to fog up underwater.
You're not putting a defog or...
It like controls the way
they do still have some defog in there, just as contingency.
I was trying yesterday, Lisa. I was like blowing on the...
Like windshield wipers or something?
Windshield wipers.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool.
All right, so they are...
You're good. It's an active facility.
You've got a badge on. You're good.
Okay, a little too close.
So they're untethering him now from the back, I guess, right?
Yeah.
They took off the astronaut seatbelt.
Yeah.
The astronaut seatbelt. That's right. We saw that yesterday.
There's an acronym, probably.
No, it's just the safety strap.
Safety strap.
The
CSS.
Yeah.
We wouldn't call it the astronaut safety strap.
Yeah.
So.
Oh.
Come on.
Come on, Chad.
But yeah, no, they have that safety strap, and then there's two latches that go in the back of the pliss that is locking it onto the stand.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't.
No, you're fine.
I bet it's the best part.
Well, I'll have to get him the link so he can watch it later.
So he can watch himself.
Yeah.
You know, while we're watching this happen, yesterday I noticed that the divers, they all kind of have their own little flair, right? They've got different colored masks and everything. I always assumed that all the divers just wore all black. You know, things that the government gave you, like just wear all of this. But yeah, they were saying that you're issued something when you first start your training, but then you can kind of change up if you have something you like better.
Yeah, if you like, say you like your colored mask, might fit. You have a different skirt design, so it might just fit your face better than what we have available here that we issue. We encourage them to make your dive as comfortable as possible because you're a diver. You know what it's like to be uncomfortable underwater. It's not fun. Yes. Whether that's cold or any other issues.
But the regulators and the BCD stuff, is that's
all has to be
and
issued here.
The tanks are made here and filled here.
Yeah, we fill the tanks here, and everything has to be O2 clean because we are breathing that high percentage of oxygen at 46%. So we want to really make sure that everything is nice and clean, and you run into a lot of problems when you're dealing with a high percent of oxygen.
Also, speaking of having a bad time underwater, we asked yesterday if part of the training is that the astronaut suit has a leak or something, so they can experience what that's like too. For safety reasons. What's that like?
So we do what's called a rapid deep press simulation. So we'll actually get the astronaut in the suit, press them to 2 psi, and then lower them in the water, and then we'll be like, okay, get ready, we're going to pop a glove. And then the suit shrinks up around you, but we're still supplying 6 actual cubic feet a minute of gas to them. So there's no water really entering the suit.
Yeah, so positive pressure is pushing out instead of in.
Right.
There was a great question that came through chat. Do they do anything to the suits special to waterproof them? I mean, they're already space-proof, right?
Typically, because they are made for space,
right?
They're almost inherently waterproof.
They're already sealed.
Nothing should come in and nothing should come out.
Yeah.
But he was saying the chlorine.
We talked about the chlorine degrading things over time. The fittings and stuff like that, there's not going to be a lot of aluminum in there. There'll be titanium, stainless steel, that sort of stuff, because you don't want to, I can't say the word, electrolyze?
Yeah, you don't want the electrolysis to start degrading the material.
Let's go with electrolysis, there you go.
But these are the actual suits. This is the same thing in the pool as it would be in space.
Yeah,
they're just clasped down so that they can reuse them.
Right.
Recycle them.
Like I said, the only thing that is different here is that we have umbilicals.
Right.
Sure.
And some of these parts on these suits may have been in space.
Right.
There are some flight suits that may have come down. I guess it's not the entire suit. It may be like a glove or a ring or something like that.
Right.
That's possible, right?
Yes. Some portions of the suits have been in space, and then they get declassed from a class 1, but they can be classified as a 3 still to support human spaceflight testing here.
Oh, this is interesting. Do the suits compress when moving deeper into the pool, and therefore does its buoyancy need to be compensated for during training? There's more pressure underwater.
Let's get into the dive physics thing. So the suit is actually always at 4 psi over ambient. So right now we're at 14.7 psi. So when we press them up, they're at 4 psi over that. And as they go down in the water column, once they hit the 33-foot mark, that's another atmosphere.
So you actually pressurize it more the deeper they go, and you, depending on what level they're at. There's so many moving parts.
You want the differential to remain about 4 and change, right? But as you go down, the pool exerts more pressure, so you want to counteract that.
Yeah, so we'll send more gas to the astronaut.
This is too cool seeing this happen.
These guys got great questions.
They really do. Chat knows their stuff. We have the entire range of folks. We have folks who thought this was interesting but don't really know about space. We have some space super fans in chat.
And we just have
probably have some people that work on this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of that, so some people were asking, is this pool ever open for recreational dives?
I get that question a lot. No, unfortunately,
that's not a thing.
We do get a privilege in the mornings. They do open the pool for an hour early, so we can actually swim laps. Which is a lot of fun.
For the public, you have to go to the Neutral Bouncy Lab down the road, and it's a trampoline park.
The Neutral Bouncy Lab. That was almost our thumbnail.
Yeah, we tried.
Nice.
So the open swim is only for staff.
Anybody that has a residency and has passed a swim test and things like that.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. But it's nice in the morning. It's like, I'm just swimming over the space station. Just doing nice.
Is there any specific medical checkup they do when they get out of the suit? Does like somebody check them over real quick, or?
Well, it sounds like right now, yeah.
We do
Looks
have,
like she was saying, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine."
That's actually our suit engineer for the day, and so she was asking how the suit fit was. If you have any hot spots or anything like that, they want to address those things, and they'll document them so they can change the suit for the next time. But we do have a full-time medical staff here, and our doctors are right here, actually, in the green shirt. He'll be he'll go through a quick questionnaire at the end of the test.
Right.
If you need ice packs for your shoulders, or would you like some ibuprofen?
They didn't ask me that when I got the suit yesterday.
That's because you rocked it. Plus, you weren't in there for 6 hours.
That's
you
fair.
tried.
That's fair.
You tried to be in for 6 hours.
I tried. I was like, I'll just take this with me, guys.
It was getting late in the afternoon, though.
Put this in my carry-on bag. I noticed before he became a turtle here, there was a little blue straw. So they have a drink bag in there, water, I guess, to stay hydrated?
We have 40 ounces of water that's in there. It's just a hydration bag, but you got to be careful because it's going to last you those 6 hours.
Yeah, it's like a technique.
The swing
that's
technique.
Awesome.
See, I wiggled more. He just kind of swung. That's so interesting.
Yeah, it's not easy getting up in those things. Yeah.
Well, you don't want it to be like too big in there. You want it to be a little close fitting, so you don't have as much movement and chafing and pressure, right?
He's got pads all over his tube suit too.
So that
There's
helps
so
to
much
fit him
that
out.
goes into this that people don't understand. You see the big shots. It's like the EVA suit on orbit, and it's a big one, and it's got the visor and stuff. You see that picture, and you're like, that's kind of cool. But you really don't understand how much work, how much expertise, how many different people come together to make this happen. It's like ants scurrying around right now, supporting the 2 astronauts training to be able to safely do this when there won't be a bunch of people scurrying around.
Yeah, well, I mean, when they go out on orbit, the other crew are helping them get into the suits and stuff like that, and then at the end of the day, they help them get out of it. So it's not too far off from the actual thing.
You have some help.
A few more people here, though.
Yeah. We're not quite to the level of like Fallout Power Armor where you just step into it and it closes around you automatically. There's still a little bit of a process to get in and out of a space.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
The newer suits are going to be rear entry. So
we've seen those.
Those are going to be a little bit easier to get into.
Yeah, like a port on the back of it.
Those are the Artemis suits then.
That'll be our lunar exploration.
The lunar exploration ones, right? The Axiom ones, right?
Yes.
And are those currently, like, have you tested these in the pool yet, in the moon area yet?
Actually, we have an Axiom run tomorrow.
Oh,
there you go.
I wish
we need to talk to Axiom and be like, hey, can we come back?
We need clearance for that.
We'll weasel in another way. By the way, Axiom told us to come back.
Is the process the same for those then? Do they, get into this contraption, get lowered down, have the divers like swim them over, and then they just proceed as normal? Obviously, they're weighted.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, same amount of safety divers. It's just like a normal run, except for now they're walking on them.
They're weighted different. Is there different training for the divers to accommodate for that different weighting scenario? And also, when they lift them, is that different? Like, is it harder to,
We do. So there is a little bit different training. Locking them into the donning stand is way different because you're actually putting them face forward into it.
Oh, wow.
So all the divers get familiarized with that. Then getting them down and getting those 1G weight or 1.6G weights on. Everybody goes through a bit of a familiarization training for that. And then when they're coming back up, we actually ditch the 1.6G weights and they're in a neutral config, so they're easy to move.
So they're easier to move. Wow. And then somebody just has to go dive down and lift up the weights again.
Right.
Or you have those rigged balloon things, I guess you could lift.
Oh, no, we wouldn't.
No,
do
you
that.
got to physically go down there.
Yeah.
Do you split them up at least?
Oh yeah.
You're not lugging like 100 pounds with you through the water.
Well, the wings on these buoyancy compensators, I think they're 35-pound lifts, so it makes swimming something to the surface pretty easy.
You got a little assist.
Yeah.
Something I notice here is that they're sort of taking notes right now. I'm sure they've been taking notes the entire time, but here there's almost like an exit interview, I guess you could say. Well, it's still fresh on your mind, I guess.
This is that's one of our medical
Attention NBL,
He's doing the checklist to make sure that he's all right. If he has any issues or any hot spots, things like that, they want to document that. So keep track of all that stuff.
And they'll take this entire suit off the donning stand here, and it'll go back to the suit lab. And do they clean it up? Do they dry it out?
Yeah, so they disinfect it, and then they have a big drying room.
Yeah.
And it's all disassembled, and it's all its components, and then they got a ton of fans in there. And
They hang it somewhere and let it sort of like expand and then blow air across it.
Yeah, it's on shelves.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
You don't put it in like a dryer, an astronaut dryer, and tumble dry it.
Yeah, no, I don't think the suit would appreciate that.
I don't
Do
think
not
that would
tumble
pull
dry
up.
the spacesuit. Like that's not a. Don't use high heat.
Air dry.
Air dry only.
Don't
Air
iron.
dry,
Like
yeah.
none of these things are allowed.
Hang dry.
You have to iron it while you're building it, and you need to seal it.
Guess so.
Again, folks, we are hanging out. We've been live for just over 2 hours here at the Neutral Buoyancy Lab. Cannot say thank you enough to the NASA team inviting us to come out here and let them visit the lab. But we're going to hang out just a little bit longer. I'm going to try to get some of your final questions in if we can. Like, just ask them in chat, tag us. No way we can get through all of them. I'll try to get as many as you can. But this is amazing.
This is incredible.
Yeah.
We are literally like the closest you can be to the astronaut if you don't have like the badge for it.
Yeah. There's a line.
There's
Actually, there's a
a
line.
black and yellow line in front of us. This is incredible.
Excellent. They are not self-drying or sizing like Marty's jacket in Back to the Future.
Definitely not.
We're not at that phase yet.
We passed that year, didn't we? Wouldn't the Back to the Future movie, like now we're further in the future than that movie?
Like 2015 or something? Like,
Yeah.
I think it was. I can't remember.
The shark coming out, it's like Jaws 8 or whatever.
It's not Sharknado, right?
It's not. I imagine, Chris Boy, I imagine that they do have some sort of washing instructions. I doubt it's a label. I bet you it's more like a 50-page binder on the processes to safely dry, clean, and stow the suits after they're used. 50 pages may be low, actually.
We should have asked Stu in the lab. He probably could have told us.
It's like, let's run back to the lab real quick and ask our buddy Stu.
They all have little like hairnets on their feet. I love that.
And again, I am actively reading chat right now. What's the outer material of the spacesuit made of, since it's waterproof and spaceproof too? It's just the stuff they use in space. This isn't like a special design that's like neoprene or something like that to make it more waterproof.
Oh,
this is the...
Get out of their way.
We'll have to get out of the way for the spacesuit.
And get as it comes. It's a wet spacesuit now.
It is. Sorry.
Adios, guys.
We'll get out of your way.
Does the fabric take on water, or does it just repel it immediately?
It does take on a little bit of water.
So it's a little heavier now.
Yeah.
Interesting. So does that affect their buoyancy then too, because it absorbs the water and it makes it sink more?
The biggest thing that affects their buoyancy during the day is that the suit actually will stretch out a bit.
Oh,
So
let's get out of the way.
Here,
Sorry.
get out of the way again.
Yeah.
Sure.
With them? Oh my gosh! Oh wow!
We'll just work for 6 hours.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
Hi.
We are
both of you?
broadcasting live right now within the Intrepid Museum in New York City.
Yeah.
We were just taking a tour of the Neutral Buoyancy Lab, learning all about what you guys do here and all your activities, and we just watched you come up.
Yeah. Sorry.
Don't be sorry. So this is a training run for Luke, and I'm just his support, really, but getting him ready for an ISS mission.
Okay.
Amazing.
Wow.
An ISS mission. So what were you working on today?
Today was one of the tighter work sites in between modules, so we were trying to work on an interface kind of heat exchanger event. So we were taking a failed, installing a spare, and then we did some ATA ops, some tank ops on the outside. So it was an interesting work site, a little bit different than our
Generally
normal
speaking, like the cooling system for the station. So it uses ammonia to cool it, and then there's some critical hardware outside the lab that we were working on replacing, and it's not in a great place to work.
Yeah. It's like a tough position, or
Right. So there's a what's called critical contingency EVAs for this station. So that's what the training flow is, being able to see all those different work sites, so that if you had to go fix it, you.
Not to be creepy, we were kind of watching you throughout the day. We had the live feed from there, so we were watching some of your operations. And everything. And did it go as planned? Like, were you happy with everything?
I think it did. I mean, this is where we get to put it all together. So all the planning, and you kind of look at all the procedures and get to look at how it plays out, whether you got to change some stuff or tweak some things, and it's always learning something.
Was this the first time you were training for this? Have you been doing this a couple times now for this particular mission?
We're starting a series of those training runs, so we've got 7 more before the end of the training events, and you get to see different aspects of station and different contingencies. So this is kind of the beginning of those training events.
Gotcha. Thank y'all so much for pausing. I want y'all to go because it's like you just did 6 hours of work. So we can talk.
It's like being in a fight, sort of. So
Yeah.
Map out all the bruises and chafing on our body.
How does it feel with the pads on in the water than in the suit? I see you've got the padding on your suit to like kind of fill it out a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, so everyone's a little different in how they fit. Some people like to be less movement. Some people like more movement. It also depends on how the suit fits. But like he's got like foam. I've got like Teflon things because it actually cuts into my shoulder. So it just depends on each person has like sort of a specific
personal fit
tailored LCVG that then works in the suit to get real hot spots.
We were down in the suit lab earlier. They were kind of showing us that. So after this one, maybe you can give notes to them and be like, I was noticing that my left elbow felt a little weird. Can you add padding?
They've got it kind of dialed in at this point, but
sure.
We're still. You can still like change configurations and see how it.
The challenge is there's only 2 or 3 different putt sizes, so you got to kind of fit everybody in there and mold them to it. So.
All right, y'all, thank you so much. We're going to let you get to it. Y'all are awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I panicked for a second. I was like, how do you clip a lav on an astronaut in the garment? Like, wait a second.
Walk and talk with okay, hi.
I also think I just congratulated them for being awesome, so it happens.
He's training for an actual ISS run.
Yeah. Let's go back this way.
Oh, yeah, we're better signal over here.
Yeah.
He will be up there doing what he just did. I want to make sure we're not in there
like this, yeah. We want to make sure we're not in the way.
I don't know what to do with this mic now. He'll be up there doing what he was just practicing for, and will no doubt be practicing many more times. Switch to this one?
Yeah, just put it on you.
Use both of them. I'll just
stop touching it.
I have 3 microphones on me now. It's
okay.
fine. He'll be doing that, more training, and then ultimately doing the real thing up there, and hopefully feel very prepared and have all that muscle memory down and know exactly what it feels like to be floating around in microgravity.
Yep. I'm going to check in with chat real quick to see how y'all think this is going. I did not anticipate taking any of the astronauts' time, especially at the end of the day. That is just absolutely amazing that they took the time to stop for a second and just tell us about their training.
The Orion capsule is in the air.
Well, they're going to do that too, I guess.
What's happening here? They're repositioning it.
They're
no problem.
repositioning
Just a slight little adjustment.
No big deal.
Oh, because they're coming by later. Oh, it's going back in the cradle. Got it.
Can we get you for a second?
Yeah, we need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Can I give him one of these?
Is this mic on here? Okay, here you go. Clip that on, Dom.
This is Dom. He's amazing.
You are absolutely amazing.
He's been amazing this whole time. And first of all, I just need to acknowledge he has a connection to the Intrepid Museum. Can you tell our friends back at home?
In a previous job, I flew Pathfinder for the shuttle carrier aircraft. And one of the shuttles we flew is Enterprise, which is on the Intrepid right now. So we flew it into JFK and transitioned it over to the barge to get it to you guys. And New York is also my home state. And so it's a great connection. So
you showed me, we had a meeting, you're like, I got the t-shirt.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have my personal selfies with it on the shuttle. So.
Amazing.
Yeah,
but you also, just are a wealth of knowledge of this place. Tell us a little bit about your history.
We got to tell the story real quick. Okay. Most of the stuff that we knew to ask about today, 90% of it is because Dom spent a couple hours walking around with us yesterday, showing us, look at this. Here's where we repair and regulate.
Telling us all these amazing
everything.
Stories.
This massive amount of information, so we would be a little bit more informed about what to talk about. Dom.
Yeah, I basically can't hold a job, so they keep moving around. I started out subsea for a couple of years with dexterous robots, and we brought that in to the space station when we were first starting that. And then I got hired on at NASA to transition that, and I did the spacesuits and tools and assembly and maintenance type stuff. So that was my background as a user of both this facility, the first one in it, and the previous one. And then I moved to aircraft operations where we did parabolic flight and high altitude research flights. And so that's where I brought some of that knowledge back and how we figured out measure the center of gravity of that capsule to make sure it floats correctly. We did it the same way we do airplanes on the 3 jack stands, which is the same way we figured out how to do the spacesuit for the lunar stuff for the 1/6. And so just try to bring all the different people together from different ages. And that's part of the great part of NASA and the challenge. Everybody's doing something different.
Right.
And so you don't have time to necessarily know what the next person is doing. So sometimes just making those connections is the best way to do it, is to bring it over.
So you helped to design some of the equipment here and the way that things operate here, you said, right?
I wish I could honestly say that. I throw out ideas and then the smart people have to figure out how to do it.
Well, that's still part of the design process, having the idea.
Ideas are part of the design process.
I say, look, my job I try to do is I try to figure out how to ask the right question. Not necessarily I know the answer.
And your title is Chief Engineer?
Yes, I'm the Chief Engineer for the facility, for the NBL.
And we were reading your bio. You have the most number of hours in Martian gravity ever or something like that?
So far.
Pretty sure. So far, yeah, pretty sure.
It says in your bio,
and that was in the parabolic flight.
From all the parabolic
flight.
We were just like, oh, humble brag, okay.
What was it, like 1,000 hours in pressurized suits as a test subject? I'm going to use the wrong terminology.
I did a lot of the work, and that's kind of just the way I am. If I can put my hands on it, I know I can fix it.
You're an engineer.
Experience it.
And so, especially when we're developing station, I would go in first to do the run. And then we would have 4 to 6 successive astronaut crews come in to do the evaluations, right? So I would know if it's working the way we intended. The astronauts evaluate it if it was correct and it was going to work for them.
Good for them.
But I knew it was a valid test because I would try it first.
Right.
I'm not. That's not my input. The subjective, but I need to make sure the test is valid.
Yeah.
So any information I get from the crew, I know is legit.
No kidding.
Wow. The camera's currently on what's happening behind us,
that's
by
the
way.
exciting part.
The elephant in the room.
We can keep talking.
Literally, the Artemis. Is that going to hit the fins? Are they going to raise it? Okay,
I guess we'll find out.
A little bit.
Yeah.
This is the most mind-blowing thing I have ever seen in my life.
When we said virtual field trip
my
active
gosh.
facility, we were not kidding about how active the facility
is. What is happening right now? So they're putting it back in its cradle, which we saw downstairs.
Right. Yeah, they had dewatered it, put it back in its cradle.
Dewatered it, like they picked it up and let it drain out, or
they pump it out.
They pump it out
because again, it was designed originally to do the splashdown tests.
It's like an eclipse.
Not necessarily, it doesn't necessarily need to be watertight. Just kind of that. So it does leak a little bit, but again, for our purposes, as long as it's not in there a long time, it's fine.
So the dock that it was just moored at over there, is something else going to go in there now, or are you just going to keep that open until something else comes up?
We have another training at the end of the week, so we'll leave it out there so they can get back to it. But again, unless people have to work on the thing, we'll take those floating docks out of the way so we can use the surface.
Oh, I see.
So next week, this will probably be floating in the middle of the pool.
Right.
And so we don't need the floating docks to access it. They were working on it, so we need to be able to walk around and work on it.
You have like the work platform around.
Exactly.
So
otherwise, we'll get that out of the way.
So you guys will have the big inflatable balloon things under it, floating in the middle of the pool for the Artemis astronauts.
Yeah. Well, yes. And we'll have the flotation collars. We'll have the raft and the deck that they have out there. All the nominal stuff that our recovery forces would be the ones bringing, our Navy divers, Air Force pararescue.
Yeah. So this is, I guess, late in the game training for them because, the goal is to have Artemis 2 launched in February.
Right.
What sort of things are they still training on, or is it just to kind of keep it fresh?
So we're doing a couple things here. We're still doing some procedural development. We're still making sure the recovery forces know how to do that stuff. From the astronauts' perspective, we want, they've gone through it, but you want to kind of keep that familiarization. So there's probably not a whole lot new they're going to see, and then you want to make sure the backup crews, and then you want to make sure that the people training them, we can fold in a new one each time as well. So we're training the trainers, we're training the astronauts, we're training the recovery people. Again, this is a continuous process, and it's not just a one-time off.
Yeah.
And there's a level of proficiency as well. So
you really started to move there.
Yeah. It's
probably heavy.
Yeah. Well, and that crane can actually handle a lot more. Initially, when this was a clean room, that was a steel cable. Now it's a rope.
Right.
Because I can't risk short circuit conducting to the
between
water,
the crane and the pool.
Right? So it's been derated to only 25 tons, which is still pretty good.
It's got a marker, like it's been edited almost.
Yeah, literally.
Literally edited.
Yeah,
so that's not a steel cable anymore. That's a rope.
It's a fiber rope.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of rigging here, I've noticed, and a lot of like underwater rigging too for this sort of thing. It's very interesting.
Yeah, and we have a whole certification before you're allowed to use a lift bag.
For underwater rigging?
Yes, because again, those can get out of if those get out of control or out of hand. You have this uncontrolled ascent.
If it's rated to lift 50 pounds or something, and it becomes disconnected, and 50 pounds, it could hit somebody on the way up.
Yeah. So you have clear areas you have to maintain above, below.
Yep.
You have a special certification to be able to actually use those, and they're different categories of lift bag.
Yeah.
Obviously, the hazard increases significantly with the greater lift.
Size. Yeah. Do some of the smaller ones, do they fill that from their suit, their tanks, or
they
have
can,
auxiliaries?
but not usually. Basically, we have like an air hose.
An air hose
that
that comes in.
Come down, it's got a little wand on it.
And then they put it under. And
or they will take down a spare tank with just that.
It's special for that task.
But if it's a little one or whatever, they'll pump it just with theirs. Again, you don't want to necessarily use up your gas if you don't have to.
Gotcha. Folks in chat, we are coming up on the end of our time here, but if you have any other questions, now is the time to ask. I'm going to try to choose some of the, let's say, most relevant questions.
Sure. Or
but
broad
now
ones
is your
that
chance.
we can answer.
Tag us over
Dom
there.
is also, not to put you on the spot,
we've got
a wealth
Dom
of
on
knowledge.
now.
So if you have any weird questions.
At least sounds.
He makes it sound.
Oh, wow. There's so much. What we couldn't explain earlier.
What?
It's half in the ground and half out of the ground.
Correct.
And you can't empty it
That's
because
correct.
of the water table. Could you explain that a little bit?
So essentially, if you try to push a cup in the water, it's going to have buoyancy. It's going to push you up. If this was empty, it's in the water table. It would be buoyant. It would lift up like a boat.
It's a boat
float
on the water table.
So it'd be a giant boat hull. So we actually had to drill wells around here, lower the table temporarily, pour the floor, pour that, fill the pool, and then stop.
So the concrete would just like.
Well, it would buckle, crack, or just heave.
It would heave. It would come disconnected from the rest of the foundation facility or whatever. Would try to pick it up.
Right.
You'd have some foundation problems.
Yeah, even having to do maintenance on the pool, I can't lower it more than a few feet. I can.
That's why you can't drain it.
Yeah.
That's why they had to paint it underwater.
6.2 million gallons of water aren't just to swim in; it also holds it down.
Yeah. So the pieces then, they're not resting on the bottom of the water. Then.
No, all of Space Station is actually on stands, which is artificial just for this, and that allows us to do a full 360 work around it, under, over, whatever. So the station's not actually sitting on the pool floor; it's on stands that are sitting on the pool floor.
Because that would be more weight, I guess. So I guess with the hoses, then you'd have to be careful to not.
Well, with the umbilicals, there's it's planned out, and there are certain tasks where you have to go. Okay, time out.
Yep.
The divers take them. This is artificial. Grab back on this. Okay, time in.
Okay, time in.
Type thing. But we try not to do that. And we have a whole planning group that all they do is figure out the best, most efficient configuration for the different training.
Around.
And that's why our configuration shift at night will move some of this hardware around. So, hey, tomorrow it can't be, we got to connect these two pieces because they're going across it. Next week they don't go across it at all, don't worry about it.
So it's not laid out exactly as the ISS is. You've got it kind of puzzle-pieced.
The connected pieces are.
Okay.
The end-to-end, so the pool's only 202 foot long, station's a little over 300 foot.
Right.
But the outboard, where the solar arrays are, you typically would only go out there if those solar arrays are collapsed down. You don't work on them EVA if they're up. So I don't really need to have that continuous as long as I've got that element here that I can work on it.
Makes sense.
So if I'm doing that. But otherwise, things like the airlock to the S0 truss, which is in the middle, is always connected. And to the elements, because I always come out that way. I always get on that handrail. I always will get on the cedar rails and go and transit up and down to get to the various work sites.
Yep.
So with the stuff that is over and over again, the everyday stuff, we try to keep that as intact as possible.
And at the end of training, maybe you or someone was saying yesterday that they always kind of end with like going into the airlock again, and they kind of like shove them in.
If they are doing an actual a planned contingency spacewalk or a planned spacewalk they're going to do, yes, we want them to do literally
the whole thing.
Yeah, as much possible. If they're going, hey, we still don't know how the alphamagnetic spectrometers part's going to work. So we're just going to swim you over there, and you're going to work all day just trying to figure out this piece. That's the task today. We don't know the spacewalk yet.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't know all the specifics. So it kind of depends as far as that goes. But on orbit, unless there is a problem, you're out for 6 hours. You finish early?
Yep.
Okay, we've got some get-ahead tasks. You're not coming in. It takes a lot and expense and a lot of effort to get you out the door up there.
Yep.
So when you're out, you maximize that time.
So really, this training is also endurance training for them, too.
It is. It's learning that suit, learning not to fight the suit, learning what it can't do, getting used to being physically in that environment. I kind of liken it sometimes to a brand new car trying to parallel park it. I don't want you to be thinking about the spacesuit when you're on orbit. I want you to be thinking about the task.
The task.
Yeah. So I want you out here, not, oh, my suit's on me. So the more hours you get in that, and it becomes kind of that.
Your body gets used to it. You can work out under the kinks. Say maybe I need a pad here. We readjust this a little bit.
You will recognize when something is off nominally. And that's almost more important when you're on orbit.
You're like, wait a second, that doesn't normally feel like that.
Yeah, so you want to get all those kinds of things in. So the hours make a difference.
Yeah. There's a really great question, and I don't know if it's something that you can answer. What happens if there's a fire drill while they're in the pool? Is there like a quick egress plan or something? I would guess
there is.
Yeah.
We have two methods, but basically yes, you would bring people to the surface.
Right.
They'd go down that ramp. We have these long kind of trench coats because everybody's going to be soaking wet, even though it's warm outside, whatever. We would de-suit them as rapidly as possible, and everybody would walk out the front door. If this area becomes contaminated, it's probably a little safer for me to keep the people in the water.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they're underwater.
So because they're breathing good gas, right? Fire service gets in here and can ventilate, and then it's safe for me to bring you out. So I got to make sure I got enough time to do that. But there's all kinds of contingencies that we practice all the time. What if this happens? What if the mock-up falls in the umbilical? I got to get it out done. We try to kind of lead turn all that. And so all of our dive staff is trained. I don't have to think about it. I'm doing it.
This is what we do right now.
And we have different levels, everything from the tabletop to only 3 of us in the building know what's happening today. And you just stand by the phone to hang it up before they call 911.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Really?
So, again, because we want people to be able to get used to reacting.
Here's what you do.
Here's
it's
what
not
you
call.
do.
What do we do? Who do we call? I don't know. Nobody knows.
That or I don't want that panic level. I want you, okay, it's probably just another drill, but let's go through it. Oh, wow, this was real, but you nailed it.
You're dealing with a lot of compressed gas and stuff, too, I would imagine.
We do. Our nitrox mix is high enough concentration of oxygen. We have to treat everything it touches as 100% oxygen. So that's why you weren't allowed in when they were de-seating, because I can't have anything that's not intrinsically safe. I can't have ignition source. So we have to do all that.
Don walked us everywhere, like back around to where they were repairing stuff, out to the back where they deliver the gases. You were talking about here's a trailer of this many of the high-pressure cylinders. We can run for this long if the delivery stop. Like, you know everything about the facility, it seems.
Well, and the thing is, in this facility, we joke we just hang out by the pool. We have to be able to stand up any station configuration within 72 hours if they have a problem on orbit. We have people alive on orbit for the last 20-odd years. I have 72 hours to help them if something happens we didn't plan on.
So
I have to have this facility ready to go. And backups to my backups.
That's something. I mean, 72 hours, that's like a requirement. Like, things are designed, systems are ready to go in case, like you said, something happens at the actual ISS. You can work through the procedure here, so they need to emergency take care of something. The procedure's been tested. Here's how it works. People are right into it. Then probably the folks that did it here might be on the call with the astronauts that are out there working on it. Like the whole thing.
You're going to use some very senior, experienced astronauts to go through this. This is what I need to tell them. This is what I would want to know when I'm up there. Go through all our mission planners, everything else. Everybody gets involved. It's a whole thing. It's a system. But
it's about preparing.
But again, there's not much. They're the only ones up there that can fix it. So we got to give them all the tools and ammunition they can.
We're going to stand here and just ask you questions forever. We promise we won't do that.
Real quick, do we need to move over here because I know this corner was a little weird for us?
We're great with him over here. We've been good. If we want the pool in the background, we can do that.
The pool, by the way, remember we were talking about that glassy state of it before when we first got here?
Settling down.
It's so nice and calm now, and you can see that silver bar there. That's that robotic arm they were talking about earlier.
There was a question about how do you clean The pool water, does it constantly go through
little scrubber things
there's
that
a
like
scrubber
floats
thing.
around? You know, do you have a name for it?
It's called a utility diver.
It's called a utility diver.
For real, you do have one of those?
Yeah,
Like
so there's
pool?
a built-in vacuum. There's a built-in vacuum system into the pool, and so there's vacuum hoses that they will go down and they will literally
So
vacuum.
it's a person. It's not a robot that does that. Got it.
Yeah, it's a
That's
person.
a big pool to clean. Though.
It
That's-
is. It is.
There's
And it-
intricate
It's like a
parts in
thankless
there that would be
job.
tough for the robot to get around,
Yeah.
right? Like,
And again, it's
Look at the hose with the little scrubber thing.
if it's obviously clean, we're good.
Yep.
They have to do that. We have to maintain the lunar terrain area that has to be turned over periodically to make sure the chemistry gets to it to keep it from all that kind of stuff.
You don't want something to grow in the bottom layers where there's not as much
all the skimmers,
filtration.
we instead of one skimmer at your pool, you can see how many we literally have around here. Because circulating the 6.2 million gallons in 19 hours, if they only had one, I would have set up a current, and then my astronauts would be floating away.
Sure.
So it's even designed so I don't have a current. The floor drains, the skimmers up there, all work together, a computer-controlled water treatment system, keep that chlorine level just as absolutely low as possible because it's so corrosive. And this is one-of-a-kind hardware. And those spacesuits weren't designed for swimming.
Weren't designed for any
So
chlorine.
actually keeping this water and keeping it clear.
Yeah.
So stuff's not trickling by you and distracting from the environment. If you don't know any of this is happening behind the scenes, we did our job.
Yep, nice. Because you're here to focus on the training, not whether or not Nemo just floated past your face or something. I imagine there's no fish in here.
Not on purpose.
It's really bad for fishing.
Not on purpose.
Or in space.
Yes. That's true.
Oh, I'm gonna read through some more here.
Yeah.
This is absolutely fantastic.
I know. I'm like having the best time right now.
Yes, we have been on a lot longer than usual. We appreciate y'all hanging out with us as well, because normally the shows are 90 minutes, and we've been live for 2.5 hours now.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, it's 3:30. We got to get to the gift shop before they close, though.
They close at 5.
They close at 5.
You're covered.
We asked on the way in. We were like, what time do y'all close so we can be done with the show so we could exit through the gift shop? Let's see here. We talked a little bit about yesterday the electrics in the water. There are electricity and lines, camera feeds, that sort of stuff. What do you do to account for that? You've got so much electrical gear in there.
Yeah. So the stuff that we've designed for the pool, we control. Like I said, the cranes were here from the previous use of the facility. So that's why we had to change the ropes to protect that, because I can't do that. But anything that's going to be on the deck is going to be ground fault circuit protected.
Right.
Is going to be either direct current below a certain value. So we manage all of that. We have a group that they do electrical assessment for each and everything that comes in here for just that reason. So we have to make sure it's protected at a level. So if I need high energy in order to generate something, then I need some other protection, like the racks on the walls that are over there. Those are just doing electrical protection for like the wave generators and things like that, because I need the energy. The cameras, the other stuff, if I keep that voltage low enough, I'm good. So yeah, that's you got to think about it.
I have a quick question too, just to jump in. You were telling us a little bit yesterday about the history of this building and like what was previously here and the idea of like why it's a little bit off the campus. And can you kind of run through that again?
So Ellington Field, former Air Force Base, is right behind us, and we have a taxiway that comes up to the back here. So our Super Guppy transport aircraft could take a piece of space station, bring it into the room next door in a clean room environment. This whole space was one giant hangar space with a polished flat floor, air-bearing floor, like a reverse air hockey table. And so they would bring in the piece of space station on these air bearings, mate it up with its sister element, make sure it works, take it back out, fly it to the Cape, launch it, take the backup unit and build it in here. Eventually the entire space station backup unit would be built in here.
Really?
So if you had a problem, you troubleshoot it here. If you're going to add something, you add it to this one first.
Make sure it all fits together, et cetera, et cetera.
And very similar to the shuttle program. Shuttle Avionics Lab, the sail facility on the site, is an actual shuttle orbiter with no aero surfaces for the same thing, testing out the electronics and everything else. Then you get budget cuts and they get rid of all your backup flight units.
Right.
And all of a sudden McDonnell Douglas has this huge clean room for spaceflight hardware with nothing to do with it.
That happens to fit an ISS? Or?
Yeah. So we're like, cut a hole in the floor, put 6.2 million gallons and see if the air conditioner can keep up. So a bit of a kludge, that's why it looks this way. But it's really pretty amazing what's been able to have been done there, even though this wasn't an on-purpose from the get-go design. To be able to do that.
That's a pretty good surface area of water. How much evaporates each day?
Do you have a lot of say it's about 6,000 gallons a week.
6,000 gallons a week evaporate from the surface.
I think that's right. Somebody was going to correct me.
If you just say it with enough confidence,
we believe you. Wow.
And then the AC system has to be able to handle the fact that there's a pool in here, and
right, and again, because we have to work here, it's a working environment. So we're trying to, we have to support the people, support that, support the people in the water. Everything's a balance of the pool temperature, cooling of the suit. Everything's got to be balanced.
Good deal. Well, I think we are coming up on the. You know what we've done? You know what's going to limit our show today? We're out of batteries. We ran the batteries out of the camera. We have more batteries, but instead of swapping out batteries and talking for another hour, we'll just come back in the future. Man.
Outstanding.
We'll let you all go home. You've been so wonderful. Thank you so much.
This is one of the most fantastic things we have had the honor of being invited to. Thank you so much for having such a facility.
You've been
Thank you for coming out.
Oh my God.
All right.
Come back
if
soon.
you hand us that, we'll do the outro and tell them what's coming up next, and we'll let you get back to it. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh my gosh, what a day!
Oh, here comes the eclipse from the crane.
Here's the eclipse. This is the axis waiter scale.
Yeah. God. Folks, this is, and we wore spacesuits yesterday. This is one of the coolest things.
What a day! What a trip!
We've been able to do.
I know.
We do need to get clear of the show before the camera dies here. Y'all are absolutely fantastic. Here's the deal. We're able to come and do stuff like this because of y'all's support. On the NSF side, y'all show up for events like this. You let us know what's going on. You show up to watch the show. You chat. You do the little thumbs up or whatever. You retweet it. You share it with your friends and family. Whatever you do, y'all help us keep doing stuff like this. And from the Intrepid side...
from the Intrepid side, thank you all for tuning in every month to our shows and, encouraging us to do exciting stuff so that we can bring this amazing facility and just all of the cool things that we do to you as well. During the pandemic, we pivoted to this virtual format, and it's been such a pleasure for us to be able to bring this to you at home as well. If you aren't in, the New York area, this is obviously a treat. If you are in the New York area, though, do come by the ship. We always have fun stuff going on all year long. Actually, coming up on Friday, we've got a movie night coming up. Speaking to the underwater archaeology theme, we have them themed. We're doing Atlantis, the Disney movie, cult classic, such a good one. But we've got our Mysteries from the Deep, exploring underwater archaeology. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, I said it right this time, in collaboration with Flying Fish Productions. So they've put together this really great exhibit in collaboration with the Intrepid. Brand new exhibit under our space shuttle right now in the shuttle pavilion, running through January 11th. And I'm sorry, what a better tie-in, though. This is incredible. We talked a lot about the connections, though, as well. So our next Astro Live is also going to be tying into the underwater archaeology theme as well, but with a space lens, too.
Right.
So stay tuned for that. We'll be having that one coming up, and it's going to be exciting for the next one, too. So
here's the deal. Y'all folks that saw this, if you think that this was cool, share it with somebody else.
Please.
If you want to see more stuff like this, tell us in the chat, tell us on social media. Tell NASA, be like, hey NASA, that was really cool when
tell
you
Intrepid.
Alicia and Daska. But let people know, because there's so many different cool things happening in the world, and bringing y'all along for the ride. We couldn't have 800,000 or 800 people in here with us, but with
it's
the cameras and the kids,
it
is a little slippery. We can bring y'all along for events like this, so you can appreciate what's going on here at a facility like the NBL.
And it's possible you didn't even know this place existed. A lot of people don't.
Might not have.
So we're really excited to be able to share the word of what's going on at NASA behind the scenes. There's so much involved with training and science.
Camera's got like 60 seconds.
Sorry, all right, we're wrapping it up. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. On the NSF channel, we still have shows today. I believe we're doing a countdown to launch because that Starship launch is still coming up. No earlier than this weekend. We'll see if it holds because the weather's not looking great. But y'all know where to find us. Watch SBL, watch these things. Make sure you catch up with the Intrepid. I don't want the camera to die, so I'm going to say thank y'all for joining us today, and we will see you nerds later.
The camera battery's getting low, and our battery's running low. Their battery's getting low.
It'd be great if the camera died right now.
Thank you all.
Appreciate
we love
it,
you.
y'all.
We'll see you next month.
And here we go.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
Our 68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Flight downside, speed off.
43 unfolds to go. Indeed. We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
This methane will be igniting with the flare, correct?
Yikes. You read? Sure. We don't need any more of these.